All right, welcome into the Ryan Ripken Show, episode to be determined. I think we're in the 80s now, probably approaching 90s. But hey, happy Monday. Glad you're joining us here on a special edition, I guess, time-wise. We change our times, not to be difficult, but it's because of our guests. We want to make sure our guests are able to join the show. So let's talk about who we have coming on and what we have in store for you today. Well, first off, we are going to have James McCann join the show here in the upcoming future, talk about who knows what, but specifically probably around baseball. We'll talk about what just happened here with the Orioles and the Mariners. We will look ahead to the Cardinals and the Orioles, which they start their series tonight in St. Louis. Hey, you know what? I think it's a good time to revisit how good Jordan Westburg is. So how about a Westy breakdown, just talking about just how damn good he has been and why he is one of the best third basemen or infielders, at least at his position out there. And yeah, we'll touch base on some other news. Apparently, Derrick Henry is in a Ravens uniform. That was pretty cool. Kevin is still very upset about the Denver Nuggets. We'll get his opinions. And I think that covers that. So let's talk about who's in studio, and let's see if I get the camera right. On my right. Oh, no, I did it wrong again. There's Brad.
Hey, what's up?
I went the wrong way again, but Brad's in the building here today. And then Zach and Kevin. Zach, Kevin, how we doing?
I'm doing a lot better than Kevin. I will tell you that.
So for people that want to know, Kevin is a big Denver Nuggets fan. And if for those that watched the game or didn't watch the game, let me tell, I guess, what happened, Kevin, so you don't have to. Nuggets blew a 15-point halftime lead. They were up by 20. And the Minnesota Timberwolves, came back and stole Game 7 on the road. The Timberwolves won 3 of 4 games on the road to take Game 7 and head to the conference finals.
Held the Nuggets to 90 points.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you okay, Kevin?
Did the Nuggets score 100 points this whole series?
Yeah.
Yes, but they were 0-12 in games, held under 100 this year, and half of those were because of Minnesota.
That's crazy.
Great, one of the best defenses I've ever seen.
Yeah, same.
Crazy.
Absolutely wild.
They had it last year.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like Minnesota has it this year. I mean, Denver didn't have it, whether it was this round or whatever. But
that's the confidence, Kevin, right there. They didn't have it. Well, I actually felt that they should, it felt like they couldn't lose that game at home. It just felt like momentum, how they started off the game. But hey, you play good enough defense, you keep them in it, especially the fact of, I think the Timberwolves shot 39% from the field and still won the game.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards did not have a good game offensively.
He said as such.
Yeah.
He was like, the rest of my teammates pulled me through this one.
I mean, Rudy Gobert was hitting fadeaways from like 15 feet out and was throwing up stuff going in the hoop. I'm just like, magnet ball was
and
crazy.
The rebounds, the offensive rebounds to jams towards the end.
Yeah.
Holy shit, just guys flying everywhere.
They just, and I can do such a deep dive on this, but like, long story short, their bench was not good enough all season.
Yeah.
And they tried to do what the Warriors did when they won a couple of years ago, which was just go completely young, try to extend the window with dynasty or whatever. But Malone doesn't play rookies.
Yeah.
So it's like you build a roster one way, but the coach doesn't believe in that philosophy. And like they had to play their start. Jokic played all but 1 minute of the game.
Yeah.
Like he was gassed.
Yeah.
Like he just,
it was bad.
Yeah.
They poured their heart out there. That's for sure.
Elimination. Not been a fun last 3 eliminations for me. Although, the Nuggets won the championship last year. So I can't complain.
Yeah, let's calm down a little bit. If you're a Wizards fan, there's a lot of Wizards fans here, Kevin.
I'm talking in succession. The Orioles got swept. The Ravens lost in the championship game, and now this. So
do you think Jokic is all right with his horses?
Oh, 100%.
No.
He's out of here.
Well, he will be. But
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he's already on the plane.
He's already thinking about it.
So, yeah, the Nuggets lost. It's actually, I don't know about you guys. In sports in general, I love the fact that it's a little bit more parity and there's different teams. Like right now, Timberwolves, Mavs, Western Conference Finals, and then the Celtics obviously still is the big dog versus the Pacers. Yeah, it's not the big market sexiness, but I like this. Like I liked even last year that the Diamondbacks and Rangers played in the World Series. I wish it was the Orioles, I'll be honest, but it's not the case. I'd love for the Wizards to get back there, but I think we have a long ways to go. Before we dive more into what's kind of transpired and we get ready for our guest here, we want to just touch on what we've actually been up to. So we had one interview come out and we actually put it out initially for our Holy Shirts and Pants members. And there's another guest another interviewee that we will have on in the future, which we kind of tease some photos of that in the background. And for our members, Brad, we will put out some videos there regarding that interview when we put that out. But we just released the one with Greg Olson, and Greg is great. We talked a lot about youth sports, but I think you also got to see the dynamic of how he thinks, what his value was, and also the grind. You can hear his mindset of how he deals with handling, trying to become a professional athlete.
Yeah, it's interesting when you talk about the everyday person and they, especially dads or whatever, like my parents and what have you, people I know that are my parents' age, I should say, will say something to the effect of like, where did the 3-sport athlete go?
Mhm.
Like, why did that go away and what have you? And so it's interesting to see that Greg Olson had the same perspective, that this isn't just a everyday person thing. This is also goes all the way up to the elite level too. So it's interesting and refreshing to see that, like, hey, this could end up being a problem. And it could be why we see a lot of the injuries that we do with like Tommy John and whatever, Zach. Like I think that when you have like these young kids that just do nothing but play baseball or do nothing but play football, they burn out. And so it doesn't become fun. You're giving them a job essentially at 10 years old, and then they're expected to just do that for the rest of their life, which I think is just not practical at all.
Yeah, I think my favorite part about him talking about that was, like you just talked about, Brad, he talked about how when you only play one sport, you do burn out, and it starts to, like, you don't get
not fun.
You don't get that same excitement. He talked about how every time he would go from basketball to football or basketball to baseball season, he'd pick up his bat and be like, I'm super hyped to do it. I have not done this since last summer. It was that new season feel of like, we're back at it. I get to do this again. When you're doing the same thing 24/7, 365, maybe a new season starts with the new team, but there's not that, oh, hey, I get to go do this again. Like, it's baseball season. They're very reliant on, I just do this. Like you said, it becomes almost like a job for 10-year-olds.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the thing too. Greg did say at some point, like, you're going to have to prioritize a sport at some point, right? And for me personally, I played, growing up, it was mainly soccer, basketball, baseball were the three. Then I did soccer, football, basketball, baseball. And when I got into high school, it really became predominantly basketball and baseball. I played basketball half the year and baseball half the year. And I remember the summers sucked. We're talking about like the travel schedules there. I'd go and play in Marietta, Georgia, and then I'd go down and play in Orlando, Florida for basketball, then come back up to Maryland. Now travel schedules and all of that, AAU, that's a whole different conversation. Yeah. But Greg's saying, at some point you're going to have to prioritize. But when you're younger, enjoy it. Let your body learn different skills. And maybe that's a video we'll tease. We have it out here. But Greg's saying how each sport taught him something else. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really, really cool, because when you see some of these athletes out there, like Patrick Mahomes, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, arguably the best quarterback. I'll give him that. Best he is right now.
Yeah.
Multi-sport athlete. You know what I mean? Like and actually one thing that a scout told me, for everyone that's out there for baseball, there was a scout that came to look at a kid in high school when I was giving lessons, and he didn't ask what position he played, or how hard he hits the ball or anything. He asked him, what other sport do you play? Because he said, we're trying to figure out kids if they can become the full all-around athlete. Like, that matters now to people. And I think we hopefully see a trend back. And I think that's what Greg and our other guests that we will have on will discuss, or interviewee. He was also a multi-sport athlete that we spoke at that Project Play event. And for the Project Play with Aspen Institute, it was great. We will talk more about that as we go. But if you are a parent or a young, if you're a teenager or kid in college and you want to know more about just the mindset importance, you should check it out. We'll share the links and all of that.
How about him talking about getting blown up by Michael Strahan too?
Oh gosh, yeah. So you guys,
introduction into the league.
Yeah,
I loved the one point where he goes, and also James Harrison blew me up. You guys know James? Oh wait, Ravens fans. Yeah, you know James. We're like, we've dealt with James Harrison before.
Raven legend.
Yeah, but something I wanted to point out before we move on. Greg Olson, incredible person. Like, we talked to him for like 15, 20 minutes before and after. He was just an incredible human, like, just super caring dude, super funny, and just really down to earth. Like, you don't know, sometimes we go into those situations, like they're on a tight schedule. He had literally just gotten in from a delayed flight
Mhm.
to do this interview, and one of the nicest guys ever. It was awesome.
That was one of my favorite parts was the behind the scenes stuff where he was talking about the different hips and legs, and like I was thinking about it. He essentially said like you have one leg that does one thing and one leg that does another. Your legs or your hips or anything. It's not expected. They're not expected to do the same thing. But a lot of people just generalize and say, and then I was thinking about it, I'm like, I do use one leg to push off over the other. Or I do use like one hip like towards a certain like he was talking about. He was very passionate.
Oh, we'll share that with the HS&P members about the little bit behind the scenes there. That'll be fun. And
hit that join button next to subscribe.
Is that what it is? Join the button next to subscribe there. That's what we need. We would appreciate it. And again, also, this laptop's going soon, guys, by the way. I just did the breakdown. The thing turned off. Oh, I'll post that video. I was doing Pickles pregame. Thing shut off, plugged in live, and I pressed the button, and it just said, like, needs battery. And I'm going, what the how am I supposed to chip, Doug, with this going on? You don't even know that movie reference, Zach.
No.
Oh my God.
Wait. Oh, no, that's Happy Gilmore.
Okay. Whew.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, wait.
How am I supposed to chip, Doug, with this going
took me
on?
a second. I was like, wait, golf. I was like, okay, wait, Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. And also, like I said, Kevin's having a rough day. We'll try to I thought something happened to Banksy, but I realized that the Nuggets played last night and he's okay. Should we jump into a little bit of baseball before we have our guests come on? Is there any other thing we'll talk a little bit about in Pocket Watch? Thank you for everyone that's listening to us.
Appreciate your Pocket Watch.
Thanks, bro.
Everyone that's listening to us, we have this on the audio formats as well. We will put out the episode after we are done. So that's on Spotify, Apple. Please like, subscribe, review. Let us know what you want to work on. Obviously, we'd rather you join us here on YouTube because it's a lot more interactive as you guys have seen. So please, we would appreciate that. Hit that like and subscribe button as we continue to grow and make this better and better. Now, baseball, sports. The Orioles won the series. Pretty neat. 1, 2 out of 3 against a very good team.
Mm-hmm.
Put up a lot of runs against Bryce Miller, even though, granted, it was 1 inning. And there was a little bit of some issues there. The Seattle Mariners didn't necessarily help out their pitcher. But, hey, guys, the Orioles off to a good start. And Gunnar Henderson is pretty damn good. He's pretty damn good. 15 home runs, tied for the American League. I think Major League Baseball lead in home runs
the leader,
with Kyle Tucker.
Oh,
also
Kyle
very
Tucker,
good player.
Did he end up tying? Those pesky Astros. Kyle Tucker's just an underrated star. That's such a side note, but he doesn't get the love he deserves. That kid's a star.
He's a star, but for Gunnar Henderson, 3 straight games in this series. I think he needs some residency up there in Seattle. He might just go buy a place. He loves facing them. And how about the opposite field home run? Granted, in the loss, that's a 410 shot to left. And I think I told you guys this. Gunner's opposite field power is stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid good. And he's off to a great start. But the bigger thing is the Orioles get the win. Grayson Rodriguez looked great, guys, by the way. The bullpen, unfortunately, gave it up a little bit at the end. They won that game, but what did the Orioles do well? They bounced back. Corbin Burns, 11 strikeouts, looked fantastic. They hold on. They take 2 out of 3. But outside of that, I mean, besides that Gunnar Henderson is very, very talented, one thing that I'm very happy about, guys that are slumping, how about Cedric Mullins getting back on track with some 2 knocks, baby? Ceddy. Friend of the show, friend of the program. And look, we can all establish that baseball is hard. We understand that there's an expectation, though. You got to play to a certain level, but slumps are going to happen. And there's no secret that it's been a rough go for Ceddy. Yeah. But it looks like, guys, he's getting back on track. And then, Zach, did you say there was a comment about with Ced? Were you the one that I was just talking about with Cedric on his approach?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, about how he was pressing or no?
Well, all of it. Go ahead with the pressing part.
Well, yeah, Cedric I want to say it was last week, had talked about in an interview how when you're in a slump, players know when they're pressing and, but it's not necessarily something he said that as easy as you going, oh, okay, I'm just going to stop pressing now. Now everything's going to be fixed. Like, it's not that. There's so many different ways. You're not seeing the ball. You're getting into your stride too soon. It can be so many different things. And you could see that Cedric was popping up balls that usually he hits out of the park. And you could tell it was starting to really get to him. And then you also had things of gets called on strike 3 on a ball at his head. There's just when it rains, it pours. That's what we were talking about. But he really is finally got the 2 knocks, 2 very good, well hit balls. And it's one of those things where it only takes 1. Maybe it only takes 2. Hopefully he gets back and going, because him and then Austin Hayes being healthy, if you can get those 2 going again in that lineup, it's so deep, it's insane.
Yeah, and I think this is not with every one of our fans, Brad. You've heard me talk about this. It's not that I understand fans' frustration. We're just trying to give a different perspective of it, where there's so many different things that go through it that sometimes we do misunderstand how hard or how much you can slump. The best players in the world still slump. Now, Aaron Judge is really hot right now, but Judge was off to a slow start. And while you talk real quickly, I'm going to pull up the stats here on some other major league hitters here that are really struggling so far.
Well, and it's kind of mind blowing, right? When you look at the Blue Jays roster as a whole, they're all slumping at the same time. Like, that's the worst possible scenario. It's like, it's not just, as O's fans, a lot of O's fans are complaining about one guy or 2 guys that aren't, doing as well as the rest of the team. How about like being a part of a team where the entire roster is slumping? And that's what's going on with the Blue Jays. I mean, Springer and Guerrero Jr., they've all not been doing great. They've all been off to a slow start. You look at that roster and think, man, like they should be contending for the division, and they're, dead last. So it's been tough. I will say, though, too, as you pull up these stats, just keep top of mind here. I want to talk about the rest of the league a little bit, especially the division, because the Yankees are on a 7-game win streak.
They're on a bender.
So I want to talk about after you bring this up.
Yeah, so sorry, I don't know how to zoom in on this right now, so I apologize. But if you guys want to look at this,
control.
I
think it's control in your little scroller.
Control and scroller. No.
Oh,
You're zooming in on your screen.
Oh, nice. I don't know what's going on.
Never
here.
mind.
That's all right.
Hey, there we go.
There we go. Hey, now. Okay, so if you look at the top here, Randy Arozarena, Tampa Bay Rays, great player, right? You're not going to, get rid of him, but he is the worst qualified hitter by average right now, hitting 158, OPS of 573. We want to go down this list a little bit. Corbin Carroll, reigning rookie of the year, talented player, hitting 191. Keep going down. Obviously, you see Cedric Mullins' name there. Francisco Lindor, Carlos Santana. Well, actually, I don't know why I said Carlos. He's beyond his quote-unquote prime here. Sorry, George Springer. Let me keep going down the list so you guys can see it. Nick Castellanos on the Phillies, hitting 207. Santander's on that list. Bo Bichette at the bottom here, hitting 211. And that's a guy that they need to play well. We'll go to the next page because I want to just drive this point home. Paul Goldschmidt, one of the best hitters in all of baseball, truly. Hitting 214 right now, only 4 home runs, 4 doubles, and Xander Bogaerts. And now Manny Machado just picked up his number a little bit, hitting 222. But my point is, guys, a lot of really good players that are off to slow starts. So I wanted to give the context of this because of that. It's not going to be perfect. And I'm not saying that guys shouldn't, that there shouldn't be a expectation. And I try to tell people, at least with Seti, when they go over the last 2 years, he's the calendar year thing. It's hard to compare one season to another when you take a break and one season's very injury riddled and you're getting off to another part of another season. It's a completely different mindset. Now, if Cedric and other guys are struggling and when you get into July, you can sit there and go, okay, we're going to have to address this. But when you're looking around Major League Baseball, good players, you got to trust that they're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
Like that's the point we're trying to make, Kevin.
I mean, didn't we go through this last year with Austin Hayes?
And Mateo, by the way.
and
everybody wanted to get rid of Mateo too. And now look at him.
That was kind of like reverse, where it was like he balled out and then off a cliff, and that was it. Get rid of him. That's it. And for Hayes, it was he struggled for what? Months to start last year. And
no, he's got off to a slow start to the month.
Right.
But then he was red hot and he ended up hitting over 300, but he got off to a slow start to the season. Yes,
exactly. But then you can talk about another guy here who I think has drawn a lot of flack recently, and that's Colton Cowser, who obviously on a tear to start the year and had a great stretch, but then we saw his struggles, but has hits in 3 of his last 4 games, including obviously the 3 for 4 yesterday. And it felt like a lot of people were ready to turn on him and say, oh, this is just who he is. And, it's just, players go through slumps all the time. No one's going to hit 500 for an entire baseball season. Again, as I think, Zach, you say it, where it's like you can fail 7 out of 10 times.
Yeah, and be a Hall
in
of
baseball.
Famer.
Exactly. So it's just sports are reactionary. I mean, look at me about the Nuggets right
Yep,
now.
we can
look
tell.
at me. Sports evoke reaction.
Yeah,
and that's what it is.
Last 5 games, Colton Cowser has 6 hits and 6 walks, 429 batting average. I think it's like a 179 OPS.
Yeah.
If I got that right.
So you acknowledge the struggles when they're there. You say, yes, this player is struggling right now. It hasn't been great, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay that way for months and months and months and months.
Right. And again, you take it as it comes, and it's way down the stretch here that you got to figure out what you're going to do. And for the Orioles right now, the biggest thing is when Cedric's playing, when Cedric plays well, the team's way different. They're way different teams. So overall, I think it's going to be okay. I don't know what that buzzing is right now.
It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, way out of nowhere. Do. Maybe it's just because we have the person in the background.
I just unplugged this one.
Okay, maybe it's that. And D Porter, thank you.
Hey, D Porter. And Justin Berlin coming in from the top rope again.
Oh, Justin.
Oh, wow.
Appreciate you, big guy.
Appreciate you, Justin. Appreciate you.
Too many non-members. Yeah, 100%.
We agree, and we're trying to continue to grow more and more. And there's some other events that are coming up in the Maryland region that we are going to talk about, just like the reason why we talked with Greg Olson. Project Play was here in Maryland. We're going to talk about some other events that are going on that you guys should know about, what's going to be happening, and a chance for us to bring you more and more content, which we think is going to be a lot of fun.
That's a very funny typo on your first message.
What?
This first typo, it said let's fucks.
Oh,
And
perfect.
then
Instead of
let's fix.
Yeah,
I thought he was just going for it.
So did I. I was like, send it, man.
I'm like, all right.
Sure.
That's how you feel.
Speaking of, so before we get our next guest on here, I did want to bring this up because I tried contacting her. She did not respond, but I feel like we still need to talk about it. Did you guys see this fan that got hit by Bo Bichette?
The ball, foul ball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Did not get hit by Boba.
Did not get hit by
No.
Yeah.
The foul ball. Sorry. Yeah. Let me rephrase. Bo Bichette hit a foul ball. It hit this girl. Look at the goose egg on this.
That's unreal.
I didn't think it was real at first, but look at that.
That is the size of a baseball.
And the Blue
Look
Jays
at
did
that.
do it. Like
Liz
well,
McGuire, at this moment, we haven't heard
Yeah.
anything about what the Blue Jays have done, but she captioned it and said, got my face mashed in by a 110-mile-an-hour fastball. 110-mile-an-hour foul ball off of Bo Bichette's bat. Didn't get the ball. I even stayed till the end of the game. Anyway, you can hook a girl up and then, of course, tag the Blue Jays. And she's got a nice little shiner when she got home.
Whew.
That is wild.
That
I thought that, like, how's that? Did the ball like go over? And this is what I want to know. I want to have you on, Liz. Like, did the ball go over the fence?
Yeah.
Or over the screen?
and it could have been on an angle. It could have been more down the line or even the one at Oriole Park. You can foul a ball off and it can go over. It just depends on where the netting ends. Now, Bo Bichette, I'm assuming if it's hit that damn hard, you would have to think. I'd have to see it. And this again, I haven't seen the play.
I haven't seen it either.
But usually a ball hit that hard is a lower trajectory or you pulled it.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling like he had to yank a ball foul here.
Yeah.
And honey, take a picture. Whammy.
This reminds me of a
Glad
story.
you're okay, Liz.
See,
Glad you're
this
okay.
is the thing for players. This was my worst nightmare when I was playing in the minor leagues because I actually I told you guys, I hit a foul ball, drilled a kid in the head while I was still battling this lefty throwing 95.
Yeah.
And all I could think about was that kid okay. And it sucked. So hopefully it looks like she's going to make a recovery. Granted, it's going to take a little bit of time to let that thing heal.
I'm shocked that she didn't get a concussion. She might still have a concussion.
Yeah, she definitely has a concussion.
Yeah, you get hit right. That's right in the temple.
That's
like,
crazy.
area.
That
This reminds me. This reminds me of a story, but we can save it.
You gotta there's probably some people that are like, what a trooper, but then there's gotta be other people like, why didn't you go seek medical attention? Your
Yeah.
brain is literally bleeding from this.
yeah.
There's, you know what? Some people I can't tell you how many times I've been hit in the head or done something where, sometimes you get lucky. That is one of the scariest things. Anything that's involved with like your head or chest. Had this conversation recently with a close friend. It's like, hey, when in doubt, just get a CT, like go get a scan done.
Yeah.
So many things can go, unfortunately can go wrong. Just get it done. And I'm also going to a ballpark now. and seeing all the nets up, I go, how the hell why was this such a problem getting these nets up for years?
Wow.
When like, I know it's like, oh, the experience, you're right there. I'm like, the experience, most of these people are not going to catch the ball if it's hit right at them.
Right.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Especially if you have little kids. Like
Yeah.
it's
that's why the netting is such a, I'm glad they extended
yeah,
the netting. I mean, it's so dangerous. So
for sure. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. It's the Ryan Ripken Show. You know, I told you the worst. I told the guy, I told him if he's going to be on the golf course the entire time,
Not to show up.
not to show up because it's going to mess with the Wi-Fi. I already know it. Can already tell. Do we give him one chance to talk?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can, because
One chance before we get James on. So we.
yeah, just do it.
What's up, fellas?
Oh gosh,
What's up? How we doing?
we're great. Oh, there's the real. There's the real
Hey.
stuff.
Ryan, could you please get him back on the show?
No.
Kill me out here tonight.
Wait, you mean like he's swinging it well, or you know,
Yeah,
he's
every
just bothering
fifth or
pain in your
sixth
ass?
Well,
Yeah.
If you take the other 4 shots out, he's doing good. He hits the ball 300 yards, but we don't know what fairway it's going to go in.
Oh, God.
Perfect.
I'm glad he's not driving the golf cart. There'd be a lot of rage.
Would
Yeah.
you guys do me a favor?
Yeah.
For Christmas, get him floating golf balls, please.
Anyway. Give me 1 second. I have to hit my shot, so I'll be right back.
Oh
Oh,
goodness.
my
All right, take him
God.
off.
Get outta
Oh
here.
goodness gracious, take him off the screen. Do you think he can hear? Hold on for a second. Do you think he can hear us?
Oh, he can still hear us
Okay.
without question.
Oh,
that's-
no, put it back on. Put it back on.
Oh, put it
yeah,
back on. Put it back on.
Oh, we missed it.
He just stuffed one. Here. I'm embarrassed.
Dude, that's
Um,
terrible. That's so bad.
That's okay.
Did you not hit that, John?
Dude, it was terrible. I'm like, it's taken me this is my 3rd shot, and I'm just getting to the fairway on this hole. It's been a rough day.
And his dad's about 300 yards in front of him, so it's no big deal.
All right, dude. No one wants to hear you talking. Can you go away?
Listen, Rock, you brought him on.
Yeah,
No,
this is
he
a part of the
wanted, he
entertainment.
wanted to. He
This
was
is
like
on you.
insisting. He was insisting. He's like, he's like, join the show, join the show.
Don't
I wanna
believe
do the
that.
show." It's
Don't believe it.
ridiculous. So here we are.
Oh goodness.
What's up, fellas?
You're,
Is the
you're a
Wi-Fi
good kid.
decent?
It's
Actually-
surprisingly it is.
It's not bad.
Yeah, man. It's that 5G internet connection, I guess.
Well, that makes one of us here. Well, we're proud of you. We're proud of you. You're doing great. We'll keep getting live updated shots here from Rocco as he tries to break 130 on the course. But hey,
Uh-oh.
it comes with the territory, right? So it will all be good. But again, if you're new, oh, he's hitting again.
Yeah, but there you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
put it up. Put it up.
No. Oh. Show us a shot.
No, he's not going to do it. All right, get out of here, Rocco.
Yeah, we'll get him out of here, and we'll have our guest come on here in a moment. I think I saw him on the back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's backstage.
But then so we'll bring him on here in a second, and we'll give you an update on Rocco's score. I get Papa de Sangro, just fantastic,
Bro,
Fantastic.
everybody roasts Rocco, and it's hilarious, even his own family.
Oh, for sure.
Yo, what is Rocco's angle right now?
I don't know.
I don't know.
And you know what? I don't
Yeah,
care.
we-
I'll be honest.
You're not going to put that up on the
We
screen.
could not put that up.
No, we're good. All right. Why don't we get? Because I think our guest is ready now. We're almost ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Because then we'll get him off and going. Because they are playing baseball. That's his job. That's his occupation. Orioles are heading, or they're already in St. Louis. Already headed there. But they play tonight. Open up the series.
Yep.
And so we were planning on having him on last week. But hey, this is a perfect time. It's the right time to have him on. Orioles catcher James McCann, if we can bring him on the screen.
Hey.
James, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. How are y'all doing?
I'm good. Are you guys safely in St. Louis? Obviously, there. Are you at the stadium already?
I'm at the stadium. I'm sitting in the clubhouse manager's office talking to y'all.
Oh. Well,
Ooh.
appreciate you taking the time. It's fancy.
Yeah.
Fancy. What time did you guys get in last night?
Not too bad. We actually got in town in time to have a little team dinner. We the whole team, whole squad showed up. A little steakhouse right across the way, so it was a good time.
Look at that team bonding after a series win. Feeling good. One thing I wanted to start off asking you. First off, Do we want to start off with Brad? Do we want to start with the veteran stuff here? Or do we want to wait on that?
We can.
So, James, I got to ask off the bat here. He's talking about vibes being immaculate, or the team just, it seems like one of the things I've really valued with what you brought. Also, by the way, this is how I wanted to lead it off. I don't know if you knew this, but every guy, it was Dean, Bauman, Bradish, whoever I've talked to, and Cedric, they're like, oh yeah, the one player you need to talk about or you need to know more about is McCann. Because McCann, that was the same thing. It wasn't the prospects, it was you. So everyone really values what you brought over. And I know it was different for you coming over from the Mets as far as you're changing roles, but how does it feel to, as far as adapt to what you've been asked to do, where you don't have to be the guy you were, at least with the Mets, if that makes sense? Like, you had to change your roles, but it didn't change who you were. Everyone says that the team's success, you are so vital to it for so many reasons. Can you just touch on, how you go about your business and also transitioning to an opportunity that is probably way different than it was to start your career?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, going all the way back to Little League, the number one, I just can't stand losing. Teams that were expected to win 100 games, I've been on teams that are expected to lose 100 games, and it's a lot more fun showing up to the ballpark in September when the playoffs are on the line, a division title is on the line, than it is when you're trying not to lose 100 games. So I've always had the mindset of team first, and especially at my position, there's so many ways that I can impact a game and impact a winning game, more so than, say, a right fielder that maybe never gets a ball hit to him in a game, right? So that's one thing that I take a lot of pride in as a catcher, is managing a game, managing a pitching staff, leading a team to a win. And then, when I first got here, like you said, it was changing roles as far as, being the guy versus not being the guy. But as a veteran, as a team that was ready to win, it was very easy to step in and share my experience and help these guys, learn how to win every single day in the big leagues. And I have a group of guys that was assembled here that I kind of joined in on. I mean, it was, I don't want to say it was easy, but it's a group of professionals. And I've said it for a long time. The talent's off the charts. The talent's easy to see. Anyone that knows anything about baseball can see that. But what they don't know is how just the quality of human beings in this locker room.
Yeah.
And how each and every single one of these guys desire to not only be great for themselves and their families, but also, for their teammates. Guys truly love each other. Guys truly pull for each other. And so when you have a group of guys like that, it makes it easy to kind of be that veteran guy that can, step in and help lead the team to that next level.
Yeah, and the thing too is, honestly, I feel like you could be the guy still on a lot of teams, right? Like, that's the part where when I tell people, I think it's a luxury. I think the Orioles have two of the best catchers out there. Personally, it just happens to be that you have Adley and yourself on the same roster, and that benefits who benefits the most is the pitching staff. One thing I got to know, because growing up, it was always you had to learn how to call a game, right? As the catcher, as it went going. Analytics now are more involved with the game, where you have more scouting reports. I know you got the wristband if you want, but can you talk about how the evolution for you calling games, how that's been? Because I think there has to be now. Back then, let me start with this. Back then, you were calling, dictating how the game was going, how the batter was seeing certain pitches. Has that changed your philosophy of how you call games now, or is that just an evolution of the whole thing?
Yeah, I'll start by saying I guess it was my rookie year, my first full season, Alex Avila pulled me aside and said, hey, it's going to take you 3 or 4 years to truly understand how to call a game at the big league level. And I remember thinking, like, man, I do all my homework. I prep like no one else. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. But after I got to that 3rd, 4th year in the big leagues, it kind of clicked, and I was like, man, he was right. It does take 3 or 4 seasons to really understand. And what he meant by that was you gain so much experience, you gain so much knowledge. And I had the same conversation with Adley, and I think he probably took it the same way that I took it as a rookie. is like, no, I know what I'm doing. I work hard. I pay attention. I do my homework. But what it is it takes getting burned a few times. It takes, understanding why you made a mistake, or maybe you didn't make a mistake, but maybe there's a better option than what you did in setting up a guy or whatever it may be. And then you never get beat the same way. So it takes that 3 to 4 years of being in the league and being around the league, being around different hitters and having success against them or not having success against them. And then knowing how to manage your staff in a series against those players. But like I told Adley last year, I said, obviously I don't want our team to lose, but it's okay to get burned because you're never going to get burned like that again. And so for me personally, the evolution with the analytics, the information to me is just a little bit easier to get now.
Mm-hmm.
You're not ciphering through a million different numbers and a million different things. Now you get a heat map, you get different charts. It's a lot easier to game plan heading into a series than say it was 10 years ago.
That makes sense too. And I'm glad you brought it up. I was curious who was the one that kind of gave you that advice, because that's every player, even growing up. I mean, even on a different sense, my dad, family members talked about certain players that kind of showed them the ropes of like, hey, you're going to learn as you go, but there's still a grace period you got to learn. So I thought that was great. Now, a little fun thing, actually, James. So we sat down with Mike Elias, I guess what, guys, a couple months ago?
No.
Not even.
No?
It was,
Gosh.
It was in the middle of April.
Okay, yeah. So the season's just started. You guys are only 40 some games in, right? So, gosh, holy shirts and pants. Mike had an interesting conversation about you guys clinching last year. We wanted to play the clip, and I want to ask you on the other side. So, Brad, you got the clip?
Yeah. So the clip here basically talks about a fond memory that Mike had that involved you and a lot of the other veteran players, and in particular when it came to celebrating playoff berth. So wanted to kind of get your take on this. So take a listen.
And halfway because of you talking about the playoffs and popping bottles, but also you just bringing up McCann, Frazier, and Gibson. And the story is, this is one of my favorite memories, or at least it pops in my mind. We had the game against the Rays, where it was a potential clinch game. And we had not, I think we were probably like 2.5 back or something at the time. I don't remember, but we were going for the division, 1.5 back. I think it might've been pretty close.
Yeah.
And we weren't in a position to clinch division, but we were in a position to clinch like the third wild card or whatever, but we hadn't made the playoffs yet. So it's kind of a big deal of coming out of a rebuild. So we had a meeting in Brandon's office before the game. Like, what are we going to do to celebrate? Are we going to do anything? Or are we going to do nothing?
Yeah.
Are we going to do something in between? We had a big meeting about it with McCann and Kyle Gibson. And we sort of landed on, because McCann had been with the Mets the year before, and they were going for their division. They won, they clinched the wild card. They skipped the celebration because that wasn't their real goal.
Right.
And then they ended up sort of collapsing the rest of the way, and they never celebrated.
Yeah.
He was like, that kind of stunk. I don't know if we want to do nothing, but you definitely don't want to act like you're spiking the football when you're haven't won the division yet, or at least that's what I was saying. Yeah. Brandon was kind of saying the same thing. So we didn't really know what to do. We landed on, if we won the game, we were just going to do kind of a subdued little toast and not a blowout celebration. And so that was how the meeting was wrapping up. Adam Frazier is walking by, wanders into Brandon's office, and he's like, "What's the plan?" And we told him, and I'll clean up the language a little bit, but
you don't have to, but you can do whatever you want.
He was like, "Forget that. We're celebrating if we clinch the playoffs." Anyway, I was like, "Okay, this guy seems like he knows what he's talking about, but we'll see what happens." As it turned out, he has an incredible historic base hit, the double down the line. It ended up being a wild walk-off, with Mullins walking it off, and it was just and so it was a blowout celebration in there, and it was just really organic. And obviously it was a huge moment for all of us that had done the whole rebuild and been a part of it.
Okay, so could you care to touch on that, James? What was there other words for Adam Frazier? Is that how you remembered it going, or?
It's pretty darn close. There definitely was some different language used.
I see that.
But no, Gibby and I were talking to Skip and Mike, and it was, we want to celebrate, but we still have, I think at that point there's 10 days left in the season, something like that. So the last thing, the way that Gibby's in my mind worked was the last thing we wanted to do was celebrate making the playoffs, have a 3-day hangover, and next thing you know, we're looking up at the Rays in the standings and we miss out on the division title.
Right.
So we were kind of stuck on, celebrating, but trying to make sure that no one went too hard, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And then Frazier walks in and is like, nah, forget that. Who cares? We're going for it. And if we go hard, then we're going to be grown men and show up tomorrow and play. And it's like, all right. And, I don't want to say that we were 100% on board to fully blow it out. I want to say that we were more on the fence about just kind of taking care. The guys in this clubhouse hadn't done it before, so we didn't want them to. Like I said, we just didn't want that 3-game, 4-game hangover that could potentially happen.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that the game went down, like Mike said, with the unbelievable at bat from Frazier and then the walk-off win, and it was against the Rays, it was like, nah, we're going for it. It just made sense.
The stars aligned. It really did.
Right.
Screw it, and then you guys continue to battle. There was no hangover there. There might have been a physical hangover for some players, but it didn't show necessarily on the field. Yeah, well, there's that. Adley has a great meme out there.
Well, that was
the next one.
We made sure we blew that one out.
And you should. I mean, you just talked about it. Winning's so damn hard, and I think that's the part that people forget. Of you put so much time and effort into everything, and you're going to go through the ups and downs of the season constantly, and you're going to struggle. And that's what people talk about, struggling all the time nowadays. Where I try to tell people, hey, it's a marathon. You can't look at what you've done after the first 40. You got to see what's going to be happening when you got the last 40. All you got to hope is that you're in the hunt. You said it's more fun to play when you're playing for something, but you got to ride out the bad times. You guys have earned that right. And do you mind if we ask you a couple fun questions? If that's okay. We have our golfing extraordinaire, Rocco DeSangre. Rocco, come on in.
Oh my God.
Let him in. Sorry, James. Right. How do you swing it, James? You swing it pretty well?
My golf game begins and ends at Top Golf.
Perfect. So you can pipe the ball, I'm assuming?
No,
drive it.
I can swing hard and the ball goes where it goes.
Love it. You know what? We're similar. Rocco right now is 145 shots through 7 holes. But Rocco, why don't you ask your question?
Yeah, James, I hope your night at the ball field goes better than mine is at the golf course right now. It's pretty terrible, but it is what it is. What I wanted to ask you, man, so I don't know how many active catchers have done this, but I mean, in baseball, I feel like to catch a no-hitter, that's an accomplishment in itself. You've been fortunate enough to catch 2 no-hitters in your career. One was a combined with the Mets, one obviously with the White Sox as well. Just kind of take me through that, man. Where does that rank among accomplishments in your career? And what was that feeling like to catch not 1, but 2 of them?
Yeah, no-hitters are obviously unique. They don't happen often. So for me, it definitely ranks up there. I know there's a big population of baseball fans that believe that the combined no-hitter is, maybe doesn't count as much as the single pitcher no-hitter. But for me, they're both special in their own way. The no-hitter with Lucas Giolito was in Chicago during COVID, so there weren't fans in the stands. So the no-hitter itself was unbelievable. We celebrated as a team. Obviously, Lucas and I have a connection because of that outing and that game. He and I have a special bond regardless of that game, but that game just kind of fortified that bond. But then the combined no-hitter was in Citi Field with the Mets, and the fans are in the stands. It's just the chills that go through your body in the 7th, 8th inning when, the fans are starting to realize what's happening and how loud they get with each pitch and each out. And, sometimes I think that combined no-hitter can be
come back.
There he is.
There he is.
Okay.
You're back.
Sorry. So
Almost back.
So good till the end.
Guys, damn it.
Guys.
I thought it was my connection, and I was like, "Oh no, I let everybody down," because that's usually how I am.
James, you there?
James bailed me
I'm
out
there.
though.
All right.
Check.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
we can hear it.
You're
We
good.
appreciate it. What and great portrait in the background. They've really done it well in the manager's clubhouse.
That's very,
Beautiful taste. But continue with your story. I apologize.
Oh, you're good. So, when you with a combined no hitter, you don't necessarily know what's going to be working for that reliever coming out of the bullpen. So you're navigating, trying not to make a mistake with that guy coming out of the pen. Also, at the same time, as a hitter, I know sometimes when you're facing Johnny Holstaff, it's tough to get in a rhythm because you're seeing different guys. So I understand the debate about does a combined no hitter count as a true no hitter, but in my book it does. I've got the lineup cards and the home plates from both no hitters, and they're both special in their own way. But definitely some of my biggest career moments that I can remember.
Well, James, I know something you didn't get to keep from the Mets no hitter, and because if you search James McCann Mets no hitter, your game used pants were actually auctioned off to somebody for $260. How do you feel about that, man?
I had no idea that those were taken out of my locker, but
Oh gosh.
I was like looking, and I'm like, somebody really paid $260 for your pants. Like,
Hey.
unbelievable.
Talking to collectors, I've seen some weird stuff. There's people that have mannequins, and they want to dress their mannequins with game used apparel.
Yeah, and they don't wash them either. They just let them be. So right out there, we got non-washed, game-used James McCann pants out there for the world to see. I think we actually two fun things. I know to get you ready for it, Zach. I think we need some catching analysis, James. So if you don't mind, Zach, do you have?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to rate Kevin's catching stance, I think he might need a little help.
Yeah.
So what does he need to do better here, James? Like what's a good stance?
Well,
How'd you rate this?
It reminds me of my 6-year-olds trying to get down and catch. The first thing that sticks out to me is that throwing arm is in a really bad spot.
That's a good point.
You're looking for foul tips off the hand and the arm that aren't going to feel too good. The other thing would be you're going to have a tough time getting a low pitch with your backside hanging down so low. So you're going to need to get a little more, get a little more on your haunches, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Kevin, get the notepad out, please.
Yeah. Let me type it out.
Good.
And the last thing I'll say is I don't know how good that glove's going to do when you got a guy bringing a little bit of velocity. So you might need a new glove.
Yeah, they had me doing a whole photo shoot, James. I'm a lefty, so I'll try to make lefty catchers. But I know there aren't a lot of them out there, but I'll do my best.
It's tough, but we need all the help we can get, and by all the help, I mean he needs all the help he can get. I guess. Well, now we got the member. Okay, so the hydration station thing, by the way, because this just got asked. Now I'm curious. I wanted to ask. I have one fun question to get you out of here, but with this makes sense. Were you looking for the hydration station on Amazon, or were you like, you know what? I have a vision, and this matches the vision of what I want. Besides that, whatever it may reference to. But yeah, go ahead, elaborate a little bit for the people.
Yeah. So I'll kind of go back to last year. Last year, the Homer hose and the sprinkler and turning on the water faucet, all that stuff kind of came about organically.
Yeah.
One of the acts in the talent show from spring training.
Mm-hmm.
The Homer hose was a little controversial at the beginning, I think, with some people because what it represents. I guess.
I thought it was great.
You just say it, James.
But in all honesty, the Homer hose last year was legitimately a hose and a funnel. It was not it was a garden hose and a funnel that we taped up, and it, obviously it became a thing. Well, spring training this year rolls around, and we're kind of talking about, are we going to keep doing the same thing? And guys are kind of 50-50. The fans obviously loved it. It worked for us. It's kind of a fun thing. And guys were like, well, let's see what happens in the talent show this year. Let's see if something, organically comes about because of that. Well, nothing really did. And then, season starts and we never really finished that conversation. And guys are like, oh, let's just do something with a motorcycle. And I would say 90+% of the guys in the clubhouse viewed that as like a placeholder. And we're like, this isn't really it. We need to kind of figure it out. And it was that series in Boston where I stood up in the hitters meeting and I was like, guys, we're trying to fix something that's not broke. We need to go back to what works for us.
Yes.
And,
love it.
I said, but we're going to do something a little different. I've got something on the way that's going to show up when we get back home. So I think Tyler Wells had actually gone out and grabbed a new homer hose for us to have while we were in Boston, while we were waiting for the arrival of the hydration station. And but yeah, it was in the training room one day. We were talking, and I was like, man, we need to do something where we can get multiple guys on the homer hose. And we were just Googling on Amazon, and boom, there's the hydration station, and that's how it kind of popped up. And we're like, man, if there's someone on base when you hit a homer, they got to hit the hydration station. We got to stay hydrated. So that's how it came about.
I appreciate you're looking out for everyone's hydration. You got to round those bases. That takes up some energy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's a great.
The heat and humidity of the summer, you got to make sure you get plenty of water.
You're just see, this is the veteran, the little things that people don't understand. Looking out for your teammates, right? What an apparatus! What a game! What a sport! Last thing, because we got to ask this, get you out of here. Controversial, sorry, we're gonna ask it anyway. You ever had the crab mac and cheese dog from Stuggies?
No, I'm allergic to crab. So.
Okay, whoa, that's good to know. Noted. So do not eat that, please. We will not have you be the reason why you go on the IL because I told you to eat the crab. All right, are you allergic to hot dogs?
No.
Okay, well here we go. So you have an option here, James. All right, again, whatever you want to do, there's no judgment. But you got a hot dog. There's the condiments, right? So you can any condiment or plain. James, what's going on your dog?
I'm very simple. It's just ketchup.
That's him.
No, it's relish. It's Rocco.
No, it's Rocco's ketchup. Yeah.
That's the first win Rocco's had today because it certainly wasn't on the golf course.
It's definitely not on the golf course. He's smiling. We'll bring him on for a second. He's happy. See, James, you just made his day. Thank you for that. Hey, actually, I meant to say right before, and maybe did you just have an event? I think we were trying to have you on so you could talk about. Did you just have a previous event that just happened?
Me?
Yes. Did we miss that?
Last week?
Yes.
Kind of, but not really. My family and I were building a barn back home, and the builder had to have a last minute meeting with me about. It's actually going to be it's like my childhood dream. There's going to be a cage in there, and a basketball court, and so it's going to be my home rec barn where I disappear to for a lot of the hours of the day.
Hell yeah.
I love that. I love that for you, to be honest here. But you do so much good for everyone else. You need to have a little bit of James McCann time, if you know what I mean. So, well, James, I appreciate it. Thank you for letting us talk to you inside the lovely, you said it's the club manager's office. Is that Hyde's office?
No, this is the clubhouse manager's office.
Oh, the clubhouse managers. Well, tell him thank you very much. We appreciate his time. But, hey, good luck. Stay healthy. And we'll see you back here in Baltimore for the next homestand, all right?
All right, sounds good. Thanks for having me on. Y'all take care.
James McCann, everybody.
James.
Rocco, you're happy?
He's a good kid. James is a good kid.
James, this is, again, the presence of it. And also, if you look at how Rocco – okay, don't speak, Rocco. Just listen, just so we can see your face. James made that hurt that someone agreed with Rocco. It did.
A little bit.
I don't think I've had one pure win on this show.
You haven't.
When
No.
he said ketchup, I was just fist pumping in the golf cart, and everyone's looking at me like, "What the hell are you doing right now?" And I'm like, "Don't you worry about it. So my dad just said it wasn't because of my shot. And
I was gonna say.
he's absolutely right.
We know you're a good kid though, Rock. But you know what I loved here is what you're saying. A couple things. You see how detailed and how much McCann cares about the other guys. You see how much he's learned from being at different spaces and spots throughout his career. Like him talking about how he learned to call games, that carries over. Changing roles and trying to help in the next group, that's being humble and understanding where your career goes. And on top of it, he's just a great guy that understands chemistry works. Hey, let's not try to change something, guys. Let's go back to what was successful. The homer hose, dong bong, whatever the hell you want to call that puppy, we're bringing that thing back.
Yeah.
And it's been great. And I truly meant it. I think that teams would be thrilled to have him be the starting catcher for the team. Just so happens that the Orioles have him and Adley both on the same roster here, which is just amazing.
Joe, we actually talked about calling the Hogs and then we forgot all about it.
Yeah.
So before the show even started, we actually we're going to do that, and then we forgot. So it's our bad.
Did the Hogs lose the SEC regular season, Joe? Because I thought that they were unbeatable. I want to see them do well.
Jeez,
I do. I'm all about rooting for the guys.
Are you saying speaking of losers?
Oh no, well, call those Hogs. Okay, so what? So it's woo pig suey. Woo, where the hell's that coming from? Pig suey.
And the Raptors.
Woo pig suey. Razorbacks. Is that better, Joe?
There you go, Joe.
Yeah. Where's Rocco coming from?
He's behind the screen.
I just put him back. I just put him back.
He's
Okay.
trying to make shit happen behind the screen.
Yeah, he needs to just stop.
Oh, so they won the SEC West. That's good. Now the real journey begins. I'm proud, happy for him. Should have brought that up to James. But guys, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Just had James McCann on to the Baltimore Orioles. Gave us a lovely conversation. We were worried Wi-Fi was going out. We got to talk to them about the clubhouse Wi-Fi a couple times there over there. But overall,
I saw people saying St. Louis needs to invest in their Wi-Fi in the chat.
As soon as we brought James on to somebody else donated, WTV breaks.
Oh yeah, baby!
Thank you. Love it.
Appreciate you, WTV.
Thank you. And you leave it up here for a second because I'll read it. Because again, if you're not watching us, we do have the audio format, which a lot of people have told me they listen more than they watch, and we encourage both. If you listen, you should watch. If you should watch, you should also listen when you don't get in an accident. Don't do anything you shouldn't on our record.
Don't be watching in the car.
That's exactly. Don't be Kevin. Love the show. Born and raised in Houston and fed to be an Astros fan, I gravitated towards Baltimore a few years ago and loving every bit of it. #Birdland. WTV breaks. We appreciate you. Thank you for the donation. And for any of those, obviously, we appreciate the donations. And if you want to join the memberships, we have those there. We have the Rips Good Kids and the Holy Shirts and Pants member where we put everything behind the scenes here. We appreciate that. Should we actually, it's a good break here. Do you have a poll, Brad?
I do have a poll.
Okay, why don't we poll it before we get into this preview of the Cardinals?
We've had this up a while now, so there's 88 votes. And we had the Disney conversations, which kind of got my brain thinking about some other things Disney related. And so I decided to ask today what the best Disney animal sidekick is.
Sidekick?
Yeah, so like I got Timon and Pumbaa for The Lion King.
Yeah.
Or Dory for Finding Nemo, Olaf from Frozen, or Baloo from Jungle Book, or any other ones you guys want to throw out there, because there's a ton of them. These are just the 4 that I chose. Who you got?
I mean,
that's such an interesting question. Like I never thought of it.
Is it Disney or just sidekick in general?
Just Disney. I'd say it was the best Disney animal sidekick.
Well, because I was gonna say you can't say Shrek, Kevin, because Donkey is not Disney.
No.
Well, I might say it anyway. Oh, I know who I'm going with. I'm going with Mushu.
Oh, from Mulan. Yeah, that's a good one.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
I part of me wants to go Dory, but then Dory got her own movie. Like, is Dory now upgraded to no longer sidekick?
Good point.
You know, like then.
I think you're overthinking
seeing Zazu from Aladdin.
Timon and Pumbaa.
Zazu from Lion King, or what's the parrot's name from Aladdin?
Oh yeah. What is the parrot's name? Damn.
I'm taking Pegasus.
Iago.
Yeah.
Oh, Pegasus.
I saw a comment for Iago actually earlier.
I'm taking Pegasus because I loved Hercules, the movie, when I was younger
that's a
as a
good
kid.
I was going with
Pegasus. I'm going to disagree with.
I was going with Doug from Up.
I'm gonna go Mushu.
I like Doug from Up.
Oh,
Yeah, why are you hating on my Pegasus, man?
There are a lot better sidekicks out there than
I just
Pegasus.
said this is what I like. It's not about what you want, Zach. You weren't even born. You haven't even seen half the movies.
Like Pegasus, like what does
Zach,
Pegasus
you don't
bring
know any
to that movie,
Kevin?
Like,
So I'm glad you
Dory in them,
patted
like-
down your hair, man. It really did wonders for you.
Yeah, it helped out.
Like think about like Dory and like there's just a lot better options out there. I'm sorry.
Do you see what happens?
So the Lion King, 54% of the vote took Timon and Pumbaa.
I just think those two are classics.
Yeah. Also, apparently Rocco's putting for birdie. I call bull, but that's what he's claiming.
Are we gonna get this?
Well, good
putt?
for Rocco.
Well, he's blocking the thing so we can't see. Hey,
Yes.
should we move into a little series preview of where the Baltimore Orioles are? Yeah, see, how about this? This is a great point. If you haven't seen Wedding Crashers, you can't speak on movie sidekicks. I agree. I agree over there.
That's just him. I've seen Wedding Crashers.
Have you?
Yeah. Not
Really?
a long time, but I've seen. Yeah, because there's a.
Don't make me mad.
Then I'm not going to talk.
Don't make me mad. Don't say something. Don't say something
I
that's
was
going to
gonna
make
say,
you
that's
sound like
just-
you haven't
well,
seen
no,
it.
I was going to say that's just like one of those movies that I feel like if you're flipping through channels, like some channel always has Wedding
That's not, but
Crashers.
that's not the question. It's have you watched it? It's one thing to have it on TV. You know why it's on TV so much? People love it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I've watched it before because it's always on TV.
That's not the answer, Brad, that we were
Crab
hoping
cakes
for.
and football.
That's what Maryland does. You probably didn't even know what that is. Also,
Where's the goddamn meatloaf, Mom?
do not feed James McCann crab.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
Yeah, we now know that. No surprise crab cakes for James McCann.
James McCann, don't do that. Don't do that. All right. Kevin. Scene. Orioles, Cardinals kicks off tonight. 3 games set out there in St. Louis. St. Louis guys, they've been the level of consistency of an organization over the last 2 decades, except for the last 2 seasons. They haven't been off to a great start again this year. They had a lot of turmoil last year, and they're kind of in that tough period where they're not young enough where they can rebuild.
Yeah.
They have a team that they still think that can compete, but right now they sit at 20-26, 7 games out of the first place Milwaukee Brewers. But this is a team that has some veteran presence. I mean, Zach, they still have Nolan Arenado and Goldschmidt, but those 2 stars haven't necessarily swung the bat well so far this season.
No, not at all. And actually, it's kind of been it's been the norm the past 2 years, going into last year's just underperformance from stars for the Cardinals. Like you said, they're in a very interesting situation because you have the guys like Goldschmidt, Arenado, Nolan Gorman, Walker. They actually, while their top prospects, was hitting decently well, but they keep sending him down. It's just one of those situations there. Wilson Contreras gets hurt where on paper, it's sort of like the Blue Jays. On paper, you look at their 1 through 9 and you're like, this team should be winning ball games, but it just hasn't been there. You have guys underperforming. Paul Goldschmidt's not off to a good start at all. But it's a series that if you're the Orioles, you definitely want to take 2 of 3 from because this is a team that can be tough because of just the veteran presence, but they are not playing well right now. They haven't really in like a year and a half, and you don't want to just give this series away.
Honestly, I don't think that I'm not going to get too crazy.
Yeah, don't get too
But they should sweep these guys, and I hope that they sweep these guys because of what New York is doing. And New York is the ability to sweep the Mariners in their upcoming series right now, too. They're already on a 7-game tear. The Orioles have a chance to go on a 7-game tear themselves if they can sweep the Cardinals and then sweep the White Sox, and with Boston coming back in town towards the end of the month.
Yeah. And so just to keep that in mind here before we dive a little bit further in is it's a long season. The Yankees are playing extremely well. They're red hot. It helps. You know what? I still think the White Sox, don't count them out yet. Don't count them out. The Fighting Gavin Sheets and the Chicago White Sox, but it's been a rough go for the Chicago White Sox.
A little bit.
The Yankees are taking care of the teams they got to take care of. That's what's happening.
And that's what I was trying to say.
Aaron Judge has gotten going with Juan Soto.
Stanton, too.
So, and Stan's swinging the bat better as well. You already have Volpe. Like, that's a very talented team that they have there. One of the best bullpens, actually, They're at the top, I believe, in bullpen ERA.
No Cole.
No Garrett Cole. Correct.
So like that's what I'm saying. It's like my hope is that the Orioles at least take 2 out of 3, but I really would like to see them sweep just because of how the Yankees are playing as an Orioles fan. So will it happen? I think it's probably unlikely that you see a sweep. It's really hard to sweep teams, but it would be great to see that happen just to keep up with the Yankees because they're playing so damn good right now.
So good. So good. I mean, actually, we'll have a chance to look at this in here in a moment, but before we move on further, I wanted to just maybe, Zach, you can do this for us. If you don't mind, Zach, pulling up our MVP odds for the American League right now would be great.
Yeah.
And also talking about percentages, since we just talked about the Yankees and Orioles, I'm curious about the odds right now to win the AL East. And consider it a time to talk about with our friends up at the Hollywood Casino in Charlestown Races, which, again, we are setting up a time to go back up there. And for those that think Charlestown is very far away, it's not. It's an hour and 15 minutes for us. It took maybe an hour and a half at max. I don't know what it was.
Well, we left from Owings Mills. It took an hour.
Yeah, we were cruising on that. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, maybe because the Preakness just happened, and I can see why people like horse racing. I can see that. The amount that people are going out there. But in Charlestown, they have the horse racing up there that you can be a part of. But for us, more importantly, we're going to go back up there and do a live show in the future. We'll keep you guys posted. We'd love for you to be there for some of the events that are happening. And apparently, if you're a Penn Play member, show of hands. You guys like complimentary?
That's free stuff, right?
Yeah. Complimentary.
Give me all the free stuff.
No, complimentary.
Okay.
Complimentary, right, Kevin?
Like at a hotel. Complimentary.
Complimentary, yes. Apparently, just in West Virginia, they don't do it in DC and Virginia, but complimentary beverages if you're a Penn Play member there.
Oh.
So I am going to be looking for some complimentary when we go up there next time. But do you have the odds real quickly, Zach, so we can talk about them?
Yeah. So right now, the American League MVP odds. Do you want me to share my screen? I can. This is courtesy of FanDuel. So right now, Juan Soto is leading in the odds at plus 280, followed by Aaron Judge in third place for AL MVP at plus 390.
That's insane.
Yeah, no, that's stupid. But Bobby Witt Jr. coming in at plus 410 and Gunnar Henderson at plus 550. I understand Aaron Judge being in the top 5. I don't think he's jumped to number 2, in my opinion.
That makes no sense.
Well, I think it's by pedigree of what they think they are capable of doing moving forward.
Without a doubt. Then if we move over to division winners, right now the New York Yankees currently
are the favorites.
Yeah, favorites at minus 230.
Huh.
Orioles go to plus 210.
I mean, New York's a good team, but I think some of that might just be New York Ticks.
Well, and and they're playing well right now, and the Orioles have a tough month coming up here in June, and there's a long season. But guys, we're not going to say anything you should or shouldn't do, but plus 210 for the Orioles. If you are into that type of thing, that's not a bad value if you believe the Orioles. And last year, the Tampa Bay Rays were off to the historic start. So, Brad, to your point, we just wanted to mention it. That's why I wanted to show these numbers. Everyone thought it was Tampa Bay's division to lose last year, right? And then Tampa Bay was not the same team that they started. Now you got to be able to continue to go on, but I think the Orioles are in a great position. You just got to ride out the storm when a team's red hot right now. And the Yankees are red hot, but they're right there on their heels to have a chance.
Yeah.
And that's all you want as you move closer, because when you get further in the season, you just want to be in striking distance. That's what happened last year. And for the Orioles now, there's a chance, going back to the series for a second, there's a chance they could see Kyle Gibson on Thursday, former Oriole, which, again, would be a bittersweet moment for fans, even though Oriole fans are going to say, hey, we hope we light him up. But, I mean, James McCann, I wish I'd talked more about that with him, was, Gibson was a huge part of that. You heard him talk about that, how that their leadership mattered so much. So hopefully the best for Gibson. But overall, as a team, pitching-wise for the Cardinals, hasn't been what we would call – the overall best season for them. I'm even trying to find, I just had their number here. Yeah. 24th in baseball with team ERA, 4.49 ERA. And their offense right now is averaging under 4 runs a game at 3.8, which puts them at 25th in baseball. So when you're looking at these metrics, or at least the numbers wise, this is again, another series, when most series is going to be this case, favors the Orioles.
So as Zach was pulling up the odds, I actually pulled up my own, and I'm about ready to place a bet today because I was looking through and seeing what was what. I got the O's on the run line -1.5, or the Cardinals -1.5. Total runs over 7.5. Does that make sense to you guys?
Well,
total runs scored.
It depends. How frisky do you think the O's offense is getting?
That's what I'm saying. 24th in ERA. I feel like that could be a good. Dean Kramer also over 4.5, which strikeouts, which I think that should be a lock, right?
Dean's been throwing the ball well. 10
strikeout. What, he's had 2 10 strikeout outings, and then last time he was out, I think he threw 6 or 7. So, and then Gunnar Henderson over 1.5 bases.
Gunnar, hopefully he's seeing the ball extremely well. I have a feeling he'll be in the lineup. Look, what this is, you guys everyone can make their own decisions. But Brad, I'm glad you threw out some numbers there that could be appealing to those, and just maybe you can help Kevin get over his woes.
Yeah, great payouts on those too.
Yeah. You're a good kid, Kevin. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Zach.
I was going to say, I retract my previous statement of saying it's stupid that Aaron Judge is.
Yeah, I'm glad you did.
Just because I've been looking at I don't think he should be second, but
no chance he should be second.
When you compare the two, he is closer to Gunnar than I thought, especially, I mean, obviously he's played in 4 more games, but I did not realize that obviously his OPS has flown up over the past, I think, 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But Aaron Judge, yeah, he's putting up. I did not think his numbers had gotten that good over the past few weeks, but I still don't think he should be second. I think Gunnar or Bobby Witt Jr. should be ahead of him, but I understand closer to why they have him at second, but I still think he should be probably top 5.
Juan Soto at number 1 makes a ton of sense.
Oh, without a doubt, he should be number 1.
He's in 311.
Yeah,
he's got more walks than strikeouts.
Yeah.
Guys, really, really good. Really, that's why you saw the Yankees go make a move for him. And again, I hated that for Orioles fans. As a baseball fan, I love that it makes the division as a fan more competitive. But man, the effect, it's there. Soto and Judge being on the same team healthy makes the world of difference, makes their lineup more dangerous because it allows more flexibility and takes the pressure off their other hitters, Zach.
Yeah, and I thought, while we're looking at these odds and everything, might as well bring up another one. AL Cy Young right now. Tariq Schoolball having an insane year for the Tigers is the favorite for the AL Cy Young at +185. But number 2, and it's really, if you look at the odds, it is a 2-horse race right now. Corbin Burns at +370. The next one is Luis Castillo, who we just saw here in Baltimore at +1400.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. 2 of those guys on the list are Mariners, Gilbert and Castillo.
Yeah,
if we're looking at that. But hey, Schoolball's pitched extremely, extremely well, and this is all fun. We take a little bit of a look of peek into the glass here. One thing we didn't talk about, guys, and so the preview of the series starts tonight for the Orioles and the Cardinals. Should be a good one. You're hoping that we talk about guys like Cedric getting going, continuing to get going, Gunnar staying red hot. But one of the questions that keeps being brought up, guys, is the bullpen. And the bullpen is going to have its ups and downs. They're still they were a top 8 ERA bullpen going into yesterday's game. And they did make a move, though, when Grayson came back. Mike Baumann got DFA'd. So in that part right now, waiting to see if he's going to be traded, claimed. To be honest, I don't see him not going unclaimed. It's one way or another. I think too talented of a guy that he's not going to end up somewhere else. So on a personal note, that's bittersweet. Just because I do think he can really help the team, and I'm still in that I think we all are in that clubhouse that's the case.
Yeah.
But it leads to this other question where there isn't a lot of depth at the spot right now. So the reason why we're bringing this up, when they made the move, the choice was either that they would have to DFA one of their players without an option. So that was guys like Webb, Mike. I forget who the other player that had the option to do that. Or you could have optioned players down, like Keegan Aiken had an option, but it lefty arm. People were talking about Perez. Right. The Orioles love Perez's metrics, and he's got a lively arm, but he hasn't pitched up to expectations so far, and he's been injured. They make a move, but when you look at the minor leagues right now, there are guys that are talented but aren't necessarily seasoned. So the Orioles right now, it's going to be a little bit thinner here, even though despite they have a 6-man rotation, which they look to be heading to, Brad.
Yeah, the 6-man rotation is also incredible. When was the last time the Orioles even had that?
They
Do we know?
Well, they used the weird with Voth. They were doing the bullpen games 2 years ago, but was that a 5th day or 6th day? I can't really remember if that. I want to say it was every 5th day still.
Yeah.
But they're doing an interesting. So they're keeping 2 guys, I believe, on schedule. Burns and I want to say Bradish. They're keeping on a 5-day schedule, and then Irvin is turning into like this mid. Sometimes he comes out of the bullpen, sometimes he starts. So it's like a weird 5.5 man rotation.
Yeah.
Like I'm interested to see how it goes, because obviously we saw Cole come out of the bullpen.
Speaking
yesterday.
of starting pitching, have we heard anything about Wellesley?
I haven't heard a lot,
Yeah.
but the thing that I would just say, I don't think it's very good.
Yeah.
You know, so I just don't
That's tough.
think, especially the fact, and this is not even news that's been out there, he hasn't thrown yet.
Right.
Right. And on other cases, the longer that prolongs, it's more and more time you're going to have to rehab. The longer you take from throwing to, the more you're going to have to build back up. I don't think it's a good prognosis. And again, so we're talking about depth here. That's the biggest talking point here, and how it's currently constructed, unless you have a guys in the minor leagues, and they have guys like Baker's down there, Vespi's down there. You have some of your other prospects, or even like starting pitchers like Povich, McDermott, but you don't need starting pitchers right now. And would you put them in a role that they've never been in? But we have seen Cole Irvin is going to be the guy that's going to be asked to, hey, Cole, start. Hey, Cole, come out of the pen. And he was great, guys, out of the pen yesterday, I believe, in the game. And that's something that I think he's going to have to, be ready to do.
Friend of the show. Just selfishly, just curious, and maybe you don't know the answer to this, but why does it take so long for a prognosis like that? Like, is it they have to just, like, I don't know. Like, why does it take so long to determine whether or not you need Tommy John, or you're gonna go through some long rehab? Like, do you know what that is? Like, why that happens?
Well, it depends on the extent of the injury here. And actually, next time we'll have Yoni back on here to talk about Tommy John, because he even actually texted me, goes, when do we need to break down something else? I'm like, well, we might be needing to do that next show, because that is a prolonged conversation. Like the Bradish part with him dealing with his injury, figuring out how the PRP shot, was going to respond to his elbow, right? So then you have to see how that goes. That was good. Then there's guys like Felix Bautista where you have an idea, but you're still going to give it a go. All right, it's not going to work. You move on. Some guys, it's so evident from the start where you say, yep, we're shutting it down. Like you've seen some of the top pitchers that went down earlier this year.
Yep.
It was automatic. Then you're these pitchers that are in a gray area where you're sitting there going, is there a chance that we can try to avoid? Because also, I think Tommy John, while effective for you to get back, it doesn't mean that, long term, it's going to be the best thing for you. I think that people need to understand that as you get older. It doesn't mean that you get Tommy John, it's going to be the best thing for your arm moving forward. So I think they just have to look at all of their options before just automatically jumping where it kind of goes, if that makes sense. So
for sure.
So we'll see what happens there. But I think that is going to be the ultimate question, is just the depth. Because in this case right now, I will say, I do think that the Orioles are going to be looking heavily more at the deadline. I don't think there's any move imminent, but there isn't as much depth as there is for the team right now, unless they're willing to give other guys opportunities. But I do think if someone goes down in the bullpen, I think you're going to see guys like Baker come back up, or Vespi maybe get a chance, but it's not going to be maybe some of the new names unless they're going to go to the pen. Like Cade Povich has been fantastic.
Yeah.
I just don't know where he's going to fit in the rotation. Right now, there isn't a spot.
Yeah, he can't. I mean, obviously, we talk about this all the time. Baseball's 162 games. There's going to be injuries. There's going to be opportunities eventually for guys. But, you brought him up. Cade Povich is dominating right now, and he looks every bit as good as what the Orioles had hoped he would look like in the minors. But right now, for the first time, and like you were kind of saying, Brad, first time in how long do we look at, we have a great starting pitching prospect, and we're like, where do we put him?
Yeah.
Like, it used to be the Orioles needed anything they could take at pitching, and now it's like, okay, we have to go to a 6-man rotation because everyone is pitching that well.
Yeah. And so, well, the other part too, when you're looking at that month of June, you know, you're trying to keep those arms fresh as much as you can. If you have 6 capable arms, really 7 that can start, you can throw in Suarez. Like 7 guys can start right now. And you're like, yeah, it's a good problem to have. Very good problem to have. The Orioles, the biggest thing is, can they continue to be more consistent at the plate and then be able to weather out the storm? What I mean consistent at the plate is manufacture runs that isn't via the long ball. Cedric Mullins having those 2 big hits for RBIs. That's doing the little things we talked about.
Yep.
Colton Cowser getting on base and starting to find his swing. Jorge Mateo making things happen on the base paths and swinging the bat well. So all those little things matter. And I guess actually we'll check back. Let's check back in with Rocco DeSangro here from the car.
Jesus Christ.
You okay there, Rock?
Round's over. It was terrible. I never want to golf again, man.
Well, that's great. Well, this would be a perfect time. You're literally in a car. Maybe it's a good time to actually hop on our Adams Jeep of Maryland. Hey,
That's
now.
good segue.
Oh, boy.
Oh, jeez.
Wow, he's actually doing it. He's actually got the wheel.
He's actually got the.
Oh, I'm parked. Relax, people.
It's we're happy. That is the most depressed Kevin. Are you,
Kevin's down horrendously today.
Kevin?
Yeah.
Are you
People
tired,
know.
or are you just in the poops?
No, I mean, it's like I tweeted out a couple weeks ago, like the AFC Championship loss will just come back to me at random points, and like throughout the show, like I just remember like a specific sequence, and I'm just like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like. So, but luckily, James seemed to be a big fan of my catching position, so that cheered me up a little bit.
He did. Except you're gonna have a broken forearm if you keep your arm out like that consistently, buddy. But
And
you're okay.
He low-key said to pick your nuts up off the ground.
He did. And then, hey, Stackhouse is saying Kevin's all up in his fifis.
What kind of maniac laugh was that?
That's a great evil laugh.
That was incredible evil laugh.
So you think I can be a villain, Brad? That is villain-esque right there.
Yeah.
We have to clip that one.
We will.
Yeah.
If we had a villain,
will.
It's like
we had
it's
a
a good
villain of the
soundbite.
show, I think I would definitely be the villain, without a doubt. I think I am the villain.
Yeah,
You know what, Zach? You also could be like Waligi over there with the mustache.
I could.
What did you call him, Rip?
Waligi.
Waluigi.
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 Waligi.
He just said it fast.
I lost a bet.
Waluigi.
I lived in LA for a couple summers doing internships, and when I was in LA, one of my friends from Baltimore lived out there, and so he was a huge Mario Party guy, and so we would play Mario Party. But the goal, and my brother would play it with us and his friend, but the goal of everybody else was just to team up on me. They didn't care if they won; they just wanted me to lose. So I bet that I could beat him one-on-one in Mario Party, and if I didn't, I would dress up as Waluigi and put it on Instagram. Lo and behold, he beat me in Mario Party.
Where is this picture?
I know. I got to see it
It's
now.
all of you have access to it. But
Oh my
Pop it
God,
up
you're gonna
here.
make me look it up on
I,
Instagram.
so he printed out a Waluigi hat and a Waluigi like mustache. He was living in this like, or I know actually it was my other friend's like apartment / house thing. Took me up to the roof of like LA backdrop or whatever, and we had like a Waluigi photo shoot for me.
Do we have the
An
photo?
actual photo shoot.
So the
It
photos
was a
are
shoot,
available.
Like, well, I only posted.
We
one,
need to see it,
but
Kevin.
Zach will pull it up. I think.
Oh,
he
goodness.
he got what I was putting down. So
You got what I was putting down.
You could be a toad too, though, Kevin.
By the way,
that's
Super
with-
Strikers
with-
was like
with
the,
the oh yeah
Super Strikers was
Oh,
the
yeah.
game.
Oh yeah, the
Super
guy.
Strikers was the
Mario
game.
Yo,
Tennis,
love it,
Mario
right?
Baseball. They have a lot.
So you know what? In the studio here, I'm going to bring back the N64. I'll get a game. I sold my GameCube. I can reacquire a GameCube, and we'll put it up here.
Yeah.
We're going to get the TVs
Yeah,
up.
gotta
This
get
thing
set
for
up.
Sunday football. Are you kidding me? And this
Yeah.
economy is going to be nuts. The one we do the breakdown on. Whew.
Hell yeah.
But there's a lot of conversations we can have. And while you're looking it up, I want to answer a couple of our questions out there. One of those, it was talking about the bullpen. It was actually talking about Kimbrel. You know, this was saying, Ryan, you nailed it on Kimbrel getting it together. Look, this is not saying we try to be objective. When we were going to say when he struggled, we admitted when he struggled. If you guys saw the breakdown, we said, hey, when he gets tired or he gets flustered, these are where the pitches finish. You know, But when a guy that his stuff to me always looked good, and you look at the percentages, it's really, really good. Now you just got to hope, can he sustain that moving forward? Because when he's on, man, it's really, really good. And that's the Craig Kimbrell that you saw for the first 11 outings. And Sylvester, just to answer this, great teams don't go several innings after scoring a couple runs and then bats go to sleep, leaving runners on base to keep scoring to put teams away. I'll be honest with you, Sylvester. Our goal is every time playing, it's like, yeah, we want to score every damn inning. But the reality is just not going to happen. I'll tell you what, the Orioles weren't sitting there hoping not to. Doesn't make them not a great team. It just also shows that teams are going to battle back. The thing is, though, how do you handle the second punch? How are you able, if the Mariners get close, how do you put the game away? Yeah. And that's what, for the Orioles in the series, the 2 games that they won, Mariners tried to get closer. Orioles were ahead. They were able to push them away. It would be so great if you could say, hey, we're just going to put it on them early and then game over. But it's so damn hard to do. Like Bryce Miller, the Orioles put up 5 on him in the first inning, but they didn't fold. He didn't fold. He kept going out there to try to give his chance to win. The Orioles held on. That's that. So did we find this photo? Oh, my. Oh
my God. Oh, my God.
Holy shit. Waluigi in LA.
See that LA backdrop there?
That is actually, the LA backdrop is pretty sweet looking.
You
When
almost
did we call on Mr. Ripken?
Go ahead.
When you get a chance. I just wanted to, because we talked about, the Orioles scoring early in games and whatnot.
What? Rocco,
we are literally talking
ruin
about
a
this
moment, bro.
mustache, dude.
All right, let's go to Kevin and then, because I have a stat. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
He went all out for this. Double mustache action with the tape. Glued. Not taped it to my head.
Just go to Rocco's point. Fucking Rocco.
Way to ruin it.
We're talking about.
It's been a great 24 hours.
What did he say?
Oh, Jesus.
Rocco, way to kick a man while he's down.
Yeah.
Look how sad he is.
I'm sorry, Kevin. I forgot.
I'm gonna go cry. No, I'm kidding.
How can I forget about the Nuggets? Just what a disgraceful loss, man. That's got to really sting. Dude, I can't even imagine being a fan of a team that gives up a 20-point lead and just loses in that fashion.
You want to come in the studio? I'll lay down on the ground for you. You can just kick me repeatedly. I think that would feel better than what's going on right now.
I'd rather do it from here, Kevin.
I thought Kevin was going to
offer
to fight you.
I'll talk behind the screen, Rocco. You won't actually come in and kick me like you mean it.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go somewhere else, though, Kevin.
Whoa. Jesus.
Whoa.
But Kevin was slouching Rock right behind. You can give your stat here in a second, but the beanbag right behind me, the yellow one, I turn around and Kevin's just slumped. And honestly, dude, Rocco, I thought something happened to Banksy. That's the look in his eyes. It's like they canceled the cat birthday party, and I'm like, oh
or
no.
Like Banksy lost another leg.
Then I'll need double donations for that.
You gotta get him 2 prosthetics now.
Double donations.
Kicking Kevin and his
that's
double donations, but I'll pocket them.
No, I love cats, so I'm not gonna kick Banksy while he's down. I'll just kick Kevin while he's down.
Well, Banksy can't kick you, so.
Well, Banksy's still got another leg, Kevin. Be nice.
Well, how's he gonna wind up?
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to answer Don's. We're going to answer Don. Thank you so much. Goodness gracious.
$10 donation.
Thank you, Don. Thank you. Kevin, Kevin, don't stop clapping. But Don says, great show, guys. Great YouTube and Twitter community. We are all building. Other than questionable usage of Kjerstad and Stowers, Mike Elias and owner David Rubenstein are building a beast. Look, the one thing with Kjerstad and Stowers is, what do you got? We good right now? Just throwing your hands up?
You're good.
Okay. The thing with those guys, you're looking at a lineup. How do you try to break through with young players? And I do feel bad. Like Heston has nothing left to prove at AAA. Stowers could be a big league guy as well as far as getting more reps. But it's hard when, again, you're going off of guys that you trust and you're talking about giving good players the opportunity to break out of their slumps. Like Cedric Mullins, the name that we heard a lot that needs to go out, or, you need to sit. Cedric's ceiling of when he's healthy and what he does in the outfield is so high that you got to roll with that. So that's just where it is. And the Orioles still are the second best team in the American League and only are 2 games back because the Yankees are on such a hot streak. Rocco, what was your stat you wanted to show?
You talked about, remember we were talking about, I forget if it was this or Rip and Rock, but we were talking about it on one podcast about like, easier said than done with the Orioles scoring early runs and getting leads for their pitchers. I mean, much like they did with Corbin Burns, they really helped him out. I did pull up a stat because I was just looking back at, what's the Orioles record when they score in the first inning? Because it feels like to me, just from the outside looking in, they haven't scored in the first inning a lot this season. Well, they've done it 11 times out of how many games? They're 10-1 when they actually score a run in the first inning. Doesn't have to be first, doesn't have to be last. It's just when they score a run in the first inning, they've only lost 1 game. So I think like the key to the Orioles winning, like that recipe to success is getting those runs on the board early, helping the pitching out. Pitching goes the distance or is able to go at least 7 innings. I mean, the runs are going to come eventually, but getting them early is really going to help. I mean, any team set the pace when it comes to winning games. And I saw a comment about my hat earlier. It's because there's somebody asked. It's Alabama Huntsville. It's shout out to UAH, the Chargers. Well, Alabama Huntsville, state of Alabama on the front, got to represent. So, yeah.
I've seen plenty of comments recently.
I saw a guy comment twice about it. So
not what we're talking about.
Not what we're talking about.
This chat's getting unhinged from the ladies are taking this chat off the
what happened?
Screen. They're just busted on.
Us, particularly me.
Oh boy!
I saw Amanda and Tori calling me short.
Oh, now we're just calling them out. God damn!
Well, they're in the. People can see the comments. I'm not keeping a secret. I gotta stand up for Short Kings, guys. I gotta stand up.
Unreal.
You did not just say it like that.
You know what? I'm standing up.
Yeah, stand up for Short Kings, Kevin.
Kevin, this is why we love you. Buddy.
Whoa! Keep the shirt on though. There it is.
Get in his face. Yeah.
I was going to actually use what last time we got riled up like that. Nick Moore said something else he thought Rocco said, but wouldn't make sense.
Dude, that was an all-timer. And if you were there for that, like people in the chat, if you remember that happening live, like that was, I think, was that the live Raven stream that we did? Was it Kadri sitting right next to him, or was that a different one?
No, it's a different one. That was his last. The one with Kadri was about the last step. The last step he had to do for his rehab.
Oh my God.
Just taking a man.
Yeah. Oh,
but yeah, that show
gracious.
was off the rails. That was probably one of our funnier shows, the one when Nick did that, because that was just like a show that went off the rails completely.
No,
So
the
many
funniest
fun
show.
moments.
The funniest show was when you weren't actually here.
Oh, thanks, Brad.
Kevin had to tell the cat story.
Oh yeah.
And then also when you were not here, told about the your road rage incident.
Back-to-back shows.
Well, I was here for the show. I just wasn't like in at that point in time, I think.
Yeah, you're a good kid. Hey, you guys, before I move on and I
What's
can
up?
take a ride over to do the breakdown here, last thing, we didn't even talk about the great sign behind you, Zach. And also saw Chuck, Rocco. I did. I saw Chuck at the O's game on Friday.
Hate
I
that
know.
guy.
So Adams Jeep of Maryland, which is right behind Zach again right there. Adams Jeep in Maryland. Oh, one more time. Hey, there it is. So Adams Jeep of Maryland is up in Aberdeen. They're a proud sponsor of the Ryan Ripken Show. And actually, guys, they sold that Orioles Jeep. Like, actually, after we posted the photo, that thing sold. And they customize other cars like that. So I guess if people really wanted another Orioles Jeep, they could make one. I didn't even think about that. Okay. But the offer still stands. If you go up and tell Chuck or Matt that you do not like Rocco at the Ryan Ripken Show, $500 gas card if you purchase one of their pre-owned vehicles. Doesn't have to be a Jeep, could be any car. I'm going to go up there and do that. Give me a 50-year-old car and I don't like Rocco DeSangro, I will take that gas card.
And you know what? If you throw cat birthday parties, we might just show up with you.
Yeah.
Speaking of, and this actually has nothing to do with cat birthdays, but did we ever find the second place winner for that gift card?
Oh, that's a great point to bring up.
Because if not, my girlfriend won. It's why not? Why not?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because
you got third place.
Hey, kids. Okay, kids.
You're going to be the one who gets the money. money.
Okay,
No, I'm not.
we're
She's gonna be the
okay.
one that gets the money.
Okay,
Not
but
me.
kids,
This
kids.
is how I handle Rocco.
Thank
from
you.
now on.
That herd.
Yeah.
Heel. Zip it, Kevin. So what we're actually, it's a good point for our March Madness. For the winner won a $200 gift card, and we can't get a hold of the person. So we've been trying to reach out. So this is kind of our last call.
Yeah.
To be like, hey, we do know who came in second. It's not you, Kevin.
I didn't say it was me.
Or anybody connected to you, Kevin.
None of it.
Why is everybody who connected?
It's conflict of interest.
But also there is someone that's in second that I told them I was going to give the first place person a little bit of time, but we are giving that gift card out. I've been waiting. I'm surprised no one has said, hey, we won or I won. Well, great. We just need you to confirm that you won the March Madness Ryan Ripken Show Iron Rooster special. That's all we need. We need confirmation. If not, we will move on to the second place winner, and that will be that. And we're going to have some fun things in the future. Maybe when we get to 10K, guys, we just blow it out at the Iron Rooster happy hour.
Hell yeah.
Free, just show up, happy hour specials all night. Rocco and Kevin can battle it out.
Kevin's taking shots.
You want to get like a? By the way, if you want to get a bouncy house,
oh my
for
God.
that,
No.
I go hard in the bouncy house. I will beat Rocco down in a bouncy house.
Oh,
what are you gonna do?
God.
I
Beat
need
Rocco
to,
down.
Oh, okay.
Hey, yeah, let's beat him off.
I need
I didn't
to
say that.
see. I need to see Rocco and Kevin fight in a bouncy house.
Just two little men just going at it in a
You know what actually we're gonna do? You guys seen Old School? You guys seen, no chance you've seen Old School. These two have not seen it, and I'm so mad. But what they do is they have a little kiddie pool where it's not where this idea is going, but instead in the kiddie pool, it's gonna be Rocco versus Kevin. That's what it's gonna be, and we're gonna put you. That'll be our ring.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
it's true. Literally, I get so much air. I get so much air.
He gets normal person air. Normal person ups in a bouncy house.
No, I get like it's like up.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. This is getting out of hand. All right. I'm going to get ready to do this breakdown.
Yeah.
Kevin, would you like to do a little Kevin's Corner? Maybe talk about Derrick Henry's in a Ravens uni as well.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Are you going to move on?
I mean, yeah, I can talk about Derrick Henry.
Will your heart go on?
It will. It will.
You're here. There's nothing I fear.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't get what you're doing. He doesn't get what it's a song.
I know, but I don't know what it is.
You don't know the song?
Maybe sing the chorus.
All roads lead
Are
to
you
Titanic, man.
Yeah, dude,
He hasn't
that's the
seen
thing.
Titanic.
My heart will go on. Like
You haven't heard Celine Dion? You're here.
Yes.
There's
what he was-
nothing I fear.
and I know that my
Heart will
Go
That's not Broadway
on.
Titanic.
It's the main song
Hold
in
on.
Yeah, but
Titanic.
it-
Rocco
she
needs
didn't
to
make-
leave.
she didn't make it for
Okay, goodbye,
Titanic.
Rocco.
Did you just kick Rocco out?
No, he kicked himself out. I brought him in and then he just left.
Oh,
so whatever.
Rocco.
See you later, asshole.
You know, I think the show went off the rails when Rocco
It always does. Always does.
disrupted my Waluigi story.
Okay.
That's so facts.
Oh, he's trying to
He
get
just
back in.
tried
Okay.
to
I'm going to get ready for this
Yeah.
breakdown. Enjoy Kevin's Corner. Okay. And scene.
Scene. Wait, did Rocco want to say something? I'll
Oh,
add
no.
him back.
Huh?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Kevin, I'm leaving. Kevin, I hate you. I would end you in a
No.
what? Huh? What?
I'm gonna do like the wrestling move where like you'd come at me in the bouncy house, and then I'd stick my arm out. You go like down.
What would I do, Kevin?
That you mean yeah,
Huh?
a clothesline?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you just the
Dude,
move
it
where
honestly-
you go down?
It honestly would be fun to get the sock and boppers. You ever hear of them?
Yes,
That
I'm
would be
looking up
fun.
how much.
That would be
I've-
awesome.
Well, Nick and I are gonna do the full Oklahoma drill apparently, but if we those round like balls you can get in and like you
Yeah,
flash
the
it
big,
Yeah.
the big, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
we could
Soccer boppers are only $20. We're so getting.
Oh, dude, we should put them on the Ryan Ripken show tab and pull the trigger, get them.
We're so doing that.
I gotta roll though, fellas. I drove 2 hours and 45 minutes to golf with my dad in Ocean City, Maryland. Now I'm driving
Oh,
another
nice.
2 hours and 45 minutes to Philadelphia to hang out with my girlfriend. So this is just like I'm driving all over the place today. Hate
Are
my
you
life.
using this as a therapy moment?
Yeah,
Yeah,
This
I
was
am.
your decision.
Can I lay down on a couch? Can you be my Zach? I would love it if you were my therapist, man. I think
You
give
would
great
hate
advice.
if I were your
if
therapist.
you
I
really,
think you give
if,
great.
I do get great. No, I'd give great advice.
You
That's
do
true.
give great advice. So
if we do want content here, we just keep Rocco on while he's driving, and we'll hear his rage in first real time right here.
it's illegal, Kevin. I can't have a handheld device when I'm driving a car. So
Oh, you don't have one of you don't have the thing you can put your phone.
About the Ravens.
Well,
Yeah,
guess who's back in the stream and it's
why
throwing
do you
things
think-
off.
All right, I'm gonna leave before I tick Brad off and he has like a fit. So I will see you guys. Love you all. Have a great show. Everybody in the chat except Joe. Love you all too. Joe, you can just do something with your life, I guess, and have a good time. Yeah. Go
Okay.
Wow.
go Monster.
Okay, timeout. Just kick. Okay, can we talk about the Ravens, please, Kevin? Thank you.
Rocco,
Rocco, get out of here.
Rocco's just leaving. So goodbye, Rocco. Okay. OTAs. It's exciting. Starting today for the Ravens. We got
Whoop, whoop.
first look at Derrick Henry in a Ravens uniform. Roquan Smith, the Ravens do their like everybody walking out of the facility to go practice, and Roquan and Derrick Henry both went out together. Now I say it was really weird, and I think a bunch of people echoed this. I think Ramey actually said it too, but seeing number 6 walk out there and not being Patrick Queen was very weird at first to me.
Yeah.
Just like, because it's all new numbers, right? Number 2 is Nate Wiggins now. It's not Tyler Huntley.
Yeah.
We're getting acclimated to new numbers on new people.
I
But
just think it's one of those things where I saw Derrick Henry walk out and it's like, oh my God, Derrick Henry's actually here. Like, I know Derrick Henry's a Raven, but I always forget Derrick Henry's a Raven. Then you see him in a Ravens uniform and you're like, this is actually happening.
Yeah.
And I love the picture the Ravens posted of Derrick Henry running behind Patrick Ricard already.
I put that out of
insane.
what would you do? You see Patrick Ricard and
Simply-
Derrick Henry running at you.
Simply crumble and get out of the way.
Tony Jefferson responded, put a gif of fear. A lot of people said they would turn the other way. Someone said they would run directly at them. Shout out to that guy. It was like I'm full on just going.
No
So,
chance. No
yeah.
chance at all.
I don't know who's speaking today. Are you good?
1 second.
Oh, cool. Okay. Hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
No, I cannot hear.
You can't hear me.
Yeah, something is weirdly.
Go ahead.
No, it's like I'm echoing.
Yeah, there's like an echo now.
There.
Yeah, now we're good.
Now we're good.
Yeah, do that when the time comes.
Yep.
Do we want to do what? Which one of these have we gone over? Cube. Here's for Rocco
Yes.
Kevin in the Soccer Bombers in a bounce house. Cube, appreciate you, dude. Cube's a dope dude. Met Cube at the pasture get together. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you said that.
Yeah,
You said that. Yeah,
Cube's
Cube Pops and Locked on Ravens too. A bunch of people from this. That's been awesome too to see the crossover.
Yeah.
People coming over here from there and going over to Locked on Ravens from here. It's been awesome. So,
Yeah, and then
fun.
Justin, get better help as a sponsor already.
I already have it for Locked On, so I'm already there. So we want to do it. from
Yeah,
here,
maybe.
too.
Yeah, I think is that all the ones we've got. But yeah, back to the Ravens. It's just that weird, like obviously it's just OTAs, but like you said, like just seeing the new faces and stuff, it's like it also is weirdly like we're back in football season almost.
Although it never really ends, honestly. Like
Yeah.
I know, like workouts are one thing, but season ends in February after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You get free agency just a couple weeks after that. Then obviously, you move on. You have some guys.
You have that
getting back
dead period with the
together,
draft,
Right.
like until the draft.
but then you get the draft in April / May. You get rookie minicamp right after that. Schedule. The NFL's made the schedule release. This huge, this huge thing now.
Yeah.
So it's still crazy. A couple years ago, it's just like, okay, who cares? They're playing this person or this team there. But it's been interesting. Ryan, you good to go?
Good. I'm going to mute you guys. Boom, 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 and boom. We good? Is that an echo now? We're good to go? We're rolling. All right. Welcome, everyone. Can we see it? I'm looking there. We're looking there. Great. Okay. So for you guys that we're revisiting this, and you guys can hear me okay, Kevin? Zach, like it sounds all right? Okay. Well, guys, welcome to this part of the program where we like to break down, again, Baltimore Orioles players. In this case, we're revisiting just how great Jordan Westbrook's been so far this season. I know a lot of people have talked to me so far about, hey, Westy has been on a tear. I'm going to show you why he's been on such a tear. And actually, in his previous breakdown, I talked about how him using the entire field so important to the success of him and to protect this team. Are we back? Can you guys hear me? Bark in the chat if you guys can hear me right now. Spam emojis, bark, whatever you want to do.
Hey, we're back.
We're back. We're back like we never left, but we kind of left. Should we start from the top? Yeah. Wolf, there's one. I see one in there. Thank you. Wolf, you're back. Wolf. Shout out the Wolves. Shout out you guys for sticking with us through this process here. And here we go. Let's go back to this guy, Jordan Westburg. He is one of the top third basemen in all of baseball. Definitely has one of the top mustaches in all of baseball. That is undeniable. But we wanted to revisit how great Jordan Westburg's been so far this season. Obviously, it's evident. He's been a big part of the team, but it's his approach, his ability in big moments, and also his ability to just do whatever's asked of this team. And you're seeing it at every different level, defensively, offensively. But we're going to touch on here the offensive side of it because Jordan Westburg has been exceptional in big moments and exceptional with 2 strikes. So let's go through a little bit of this Jordan Westburg breakdown. So you guys, this is one of my favorite websites, Baseball Savant. If you're not familiar with it, you should go check it out. It's fantastic. Gives you context here, right? And the things that I like to look at, because sometimes these numbers can be a little bit too much, I like to look at how hard you hit the ball, and then you can look at the averages, slugging, but hard hit percentage, when Jordan hits the ball, he squares it up 93% of the time. Barrel 65%. But how about this? Fielding in his range is great. Sprint speed, he's a very good overall player, overall athlete. Now, for all hitters, you guys have heard me talk about this. To be a great hitter, great hitters use the entire part of the field. And if you watch the first Jordan Westburg breakdown that I had, and if you haven't, you should go back and watch it. It's that great hitters use the whole part of the field. And if you look at this, Jordan Westburg actually does a lot of his damage to the middle part of the field and then driving it out to right center. And actually, these balls that are purple, which are doubles, really, those are off of mistakes, off-speed pitches where he then turns on it. But mostly he's thinking, hey, I got to go big part of the field because that is where I have the most success. I stay on the ball long enough. I'm strong enough. I hit the ball hard enough. We're going to see results. All right. So let's keep moving. And actually, I wanted to touch on the part of how good he's been real quickly. So this list, if you guys can see it, I'm trying to look right there, but I'll read off the list of names ahead of Jordan. Jordan's circled right here. These are third basemen in all of baseball. Rafael Devers is up top with the Red Sox, Alec Boehm with the Phillies, Paredes Rays, McMahon with the Rockies. Jordan Westburg sitting tied 4th in OPS in all of baseball for third baseman. But what I love, he's slugging .526. He's got 29 RBIs, 7 jacks, 3 triples so far for Jordan Westburg. So you're looking at how good is Jordan Westburg. He's one of the best in all of baseball, and really the only ones that he's behind in the American League as far as OPS, and I'd still take Jordan because of the RBIs, are more than Devers and Paredes. You could argue he is the most impressive third baseman so far in the American League. So let me move on to this for a second. Okay, the point about hitting the ball the opposite field, we've talked about it. Jordan's been sensational at it. And when he does that, he seems to be doing better. He seems to be driving the baseball and having success. So this was the finale against the Cincinnati Reds. Nick Lodolo, one of their best arms. This is the beauty of it. He's going to throw a pitch away right here. Westy's not going to try to do too much. He has a strong, compact swing, and he goes with the baseball. So he's not afraid if the ball is located well. He takes it as an advantage. Hey, you think you're going to throw a pitch away from me? I'm disciplined enough to take it right where you're trying to throw it. So here we go. You're going to see it go right on the outside corner here. You know, it's over the middle part of the plate, or sorry, the meatier part, but Westy doesn't try to do too much. That's where he has success. And again, this was the leadoff home run, leadoff Jordan Westburg of the game, bottom of the first against Kikuchi here. Again, pitch is going to be more middle away. Westy's not going to try to do too much. He's going to take the ball where it's pitched and do his damage. So here it is. We're going to freeze it. Stays on the baseball, compact. Again, not a bad pitch by Kikuchi, but Westburg, he's daring people to throw it out there because he knows he can go and put the ball in the seats. He does just that here for the Baltimore Orioles. They're on the board first, 1-0 here. But this is where Westburg in general, we talk about, there's 2 things I want you to focus on for the rest of the highlights here. His 2-strike approach and coming up in big situations. This is a big situation, obviously, not 2 strikes, but this was the walk-off. Sometimes it's better to be lucky, but when I talk about if you can stay on the ball long enough, you can get away with more. Westy walks it off here. He's going to hit a cue ball down the first base line. but it starts with being able to stay on the baseball long enough. He's going to get a slider down at the lower part of the plate, maybe a hair below the strike zone. And again, stays on the baseball, not his best swing, but guess what? When you stay on the baseball and you think big part of the field, good things happen. Cowser comes around to score, and Westburg's the hero once again. Now, let's talk about the two-strike approach, because that has been the biggest difference so far. And we're talking about putting together competitive at-bats. No one's put together more competitive at-bats for the Orioles with 2 strikes than Jordan Westburg. All right, bases loaded, 0-2 count. Pitcher is in the driver's seat, right? But Westy stays disciplined, stays on the baseball, and is able to drive this ball up the middle on a slider cutter away. And look, he doesn't get all of it, but gets enough of it to drive this ball through the hole. Things are in motion. Again, good players come up in big situations and do it with 2 strikes. Another example here, 3-2 count, and actually Westy battled back to get this to a 3-2 count. Now, hey, you're playing with house money. Lugo doesn't want to allow the leadoff guy on, so he's going to groove a pitch right down the middle, and Westy hits this ball about 100-something right to dead center. And again, look at where the pitches are, and look where Westburg's hitting the baseball. He's not trying to do too much. He's trying to hit it right where it's going. And right there, Westy's in for a leadoff triple, and that's feeling good. DL Hall, former Oriole, former teammate of Westy, former teammate of mine too. Again, 2 strikes. Take a guess what's going to happen here. Westburg is going to be ready, compact, not trying to do too much. Fastball away. Oh, wait a minute. Where's it going? Right center. Again, and this is what I love about doing this breakdown with him. Nothing that we're doing right now is complex. And I think that's something for everyone needs to talk about with teaching kids, with trying to understand the game. Baseball's hard, but it's simple when you look at it this way. To have success, you want to try to hit it where it's pitched. You try to go against that, it makes it harder. Jordan Westburg, when you're strong enough, you're big enough, and you have good bat control, using the whole field is like the secret weapon that is so simple, but not everyone wants to do it. So here is again with Castillo. Again, great pitcher, 97. Westburg's a little bit late on that pitch, and let me talk about that for 1 second. Bring it back here. I'm bringing this Castillo pitch back. Yep. Kevin, you don't know that song either. All right, so when you look at this right now, 97, he's late. No doubt he's late. But because your thought is, hey, I'd rather get jammed a little bit, so imagine, I don't know where I put my bat. Oh, there it is. Hey, now. We're back. We're back. So here. Hey, how we doing? Good to see you guys. When you're thinking, all right, I am going to be late on the baseball here, and you know what? If I get it a little bit jammed, which Westburg does get jammed here, that's okay. He's going, all right, I'm going to make sure my shoulder's going to stay on the ball. I'm not going to leak. I'm not going to go away. I'm going to wait. And no matter what, if I hit the ball on this part of the bat, not maybe the best part of the barrel, but a little bit deeper, you get jammed, I'm okay with living with it because I know a lot of hits live on the other side of the field. It's true. So here it is. He's going to let the ball travel too deep a little bit, not even too deep, but not as hard as hit ball. But when you are able to see the ball that deep, you give yourself a chance. And this turns out to be a triple for Westy. Now, it could have been handled a little bit better back in the corner. But again, you stay on the baseball long enough, you use the big part of the field, use the other part of the field, you see success. Guess what? 2 strikes. Here's an example, too, with Westy. We've seen all of his balls going to right center field. Westy doesn't pull a ton of balls unless they're hanging breaking balls. Okay? So you're going to see a sequence here. Jackson's going to hang a slider right up here in the top corner, and that's when Westy's thinking, all right, I'm thinking, ooh, we're going over here. Westy's thinking, all right, I'm still thinking big part of the field this way, but if he hangs a breaking ball and it's slow, and then my bat can get to a position where, all right, I am in a good position, I'm on time, and now I can pull this baseball. That's what he does. He's not trying to do it intentionally. He's just letting the pitch and his positioning dictate where he's going to hit the baseball, if that makes sense. Okay? So right here, he's going to hang a pitch, and he's going to drive it. So look, he's thinking fastball. His timing's thinking right center, but on a breaking ball, Timing's going to be a little bit earlier. He's going to pull this baseball. Again, there it is. Alec Marsh. Sorry, I was wrong on that. The pitch before was there. This pitch is up here, inside. Slider in, ready. Whammy, hangs. Westberg's timing is for a fastball, thinking right center. He's going to pull this ball down the line, and he's in business. See, again, when you have your mindset, and Jordan Westberg's mindset to me is he's thinking, hey, I am trying to play pepper with right center field. Think big part of the field. You can react then and pull the baseball when you see off-speed pitches. That's been successful for him. Again, another off-speed pitch. Westberg's going to be ready. Hangs it, way in, and again, not a fastball, slider, pulls the baseball. The timing is different, but when you're able to tell yourself, hey, I'm going to let my bat do the work, and I'm going to trust myself and trust that I'm in a position that I will naturally hit the ball where it needs to go, that's where you're seeing more success. Westberg's not forcing anything, and that's the beauty of his game. That's why he's doing so well. And again, you guys remember this one up in Boston, 2-2 count, 2 outs, 7th inning. He's grinding yet again. He's going to get a pitch over the heart of the plate, and he's going to hit that thing right back at the pitcher, except what I mean by right back at the pitcher, I mean 400 and some feet past the pitcher for a big ball. Orioles come back to win this game. And then all Oriole fans remember this one. This was Westy, second series, I believe, against the Royals. Westy, 0-2 count, fastball away, cold night. Things haven't been going the way that, the Orioles had hoped. They just gave up the lead in the top of the ninth. But Westberg, again, Anderson's going to work away. He's not going to try to do too much. Fastball away. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, Birdland. And Jordan Westberg, this is kind of where the stardom of Jordan Westberg really started to emerge, was this moment right here. And look, I know I said the word so much about approach and about hitting the ball the other way. Mindset's everything. I actually tweeted that out the other day. If your mindset has you focused on one thing and that works for you, keep living there. Jordan Westberg's mindset is living to right center field. He will react the other way, but he's not changing that. And the thing that I love right now, everything you're doing or what you're seeing with Jordan Westberg is simple. That's what you need to do as a hitter. How do you simplify your swing? How do you simplify your thought? Jordan Westberg, all he's trying to do is, I'm going to try to get the bat to the baseball. And for my mindset, if I need to stay on the baseball, I'm going to think right center. And this is a guy, again, people talk about Gunnar Henderson. People talk about Adley Rutschman. This dude right here is the superstar that no one wants to talk about enough in all of baseball. But here he is with one of the best mustaches you're ever going to see. But if he keeps playing like this, the Orioles are going to continue to win games. He's going to go to many all-star games. And I believe if he can come up in these big moments here, like he just did in this last video, he's going to be poised for bigger moments as the Orioles try to chase down their first World Series title since 1983. And if you like that video, hit the like and subscribe button, guys. I'd really appreciate that. Let me know who we should break down next. And for now, thank you for tuning in. And now back to Kevin's Corner.
Mine is.
Oh, yours is? Oh, there's mine.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, okay, so I was looking up guys with 2 strikes on the Baltimore Orioles, and is it doing the thing again? Yeah, right. Cool. All right, now we're back, baby. All right, so Baltimore Orioles hitting with 2 strikes. One super cool that you can actually look this stuff up on MLB.com. So go play around with that if you're into looking at different stats. Right now, the best average hitter on the Baltimore Orioles with 2 strikes, you know who it is?
Gunner.
No, we just
Jordan
Jordan Westberg. There we go. There we go.
I was joking.
But it is actually, I think, the biggest thing I took away from this one is Gunnar Henderson with 2 strikes. He has 7 home runs with 2 strikes this year.
That's crazy.
That's
wow.
7 of his 15 are with 2 strikes. Jordan Westberg, actually, even though he has only 3 home runs compared to Gunnar 7, Jordan Westberg leads the team in RBIs with 2 strikes with 15. He has 3 home runs, 2 triples, and 3 doubles. So, like Ryan was saying, like even when he falls behind in the count, he just doesn't give in to pitchers. He doesn't give up in at bats. He's going to battle till the very last second, and it truly comes through. And over the course of a year, he's the type of player that we've been saying since the beginning. You're suddenly going to look up and you're going to be like, it's August and Jordan Westbrook's still a top 3 producer on this team.
Yeah, it's timely hitting.
Yeah.
I mean, he's finding ways to produce, as you so eloquently say.
Yep.
And again, we talk about the Orioles. They're a power team. We know they're a power team, but we also know they have to be effective with runners in scoring position and driving those guys in without the long ball. And Westbrook has done a great job not only of driving guys in. Of course, we've seen the power pop from him, but he also is hitting, triples and like all that stuff. So he's a connector guy. Like he's better than that, obviously, but like he's someone that you get up, or he gets up, and you have this like sense of calm where you're like, you trust him, right? It's the circle of trust we were talking about.
So I apologize. I do not know what the statistic, like what the criteria of this statistic is, but when I was playing around with it, in games that are, the criteria is late and close. So I'm assuming 7th inning after, probably a 1 to 2 run game, Jordan Westbrook is hitting 421.
Wow.
So like you said, it's the timely hitting. It's when the moment is the biggest. Jordan Westbrook's coming through 6 RBIs in games that are late and close. Obviously, you have Gunnar right behind him, batting 353. Ryan Mountcastle, 333. Anthony Santander, we always talk about how he'll go through slumps, but when the moment's the biggest, Santander is going to come up with something, batting 333 in late and close games. Adley Rutschman down at 263. But yeah, some of these guys, Santander has a 1.312 OPS in late and close games. Once again, I wish I had a better criteria. I wish it stated what goes into late and close, but I'm assuming 7th inning later.
Yeah, and it means also that clutch moments. I don't know what
Yeah.
the heck happened with my earpiece here. Hey, now. There it is. But that's the reality. So these are the moments there when you have players that can come up in big moments. And when you're looking at what I just showed, Westy's been that guy. Obviously, Gunner's got the pop to do it with 2 strikes. He's done it a lot. But this is why with certain players, you got to figure out who can step up in these moments. And the Orioles, that guy's been Jordan Westbrook consistently for this season. And Steven said this part about whenever he gets behind, and that's what I was trying to prove. He locks in. He gets better with 2 strikes. He's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. That's a lot of things that people tend to tense up. He's like, I don't want to get out. I want to try to be able to, whatever the thought is, you're not thinking about what your job and your objective is. And for Jordan is, all right, I just got to try to put this ball in play. I got to keep battling. Don't give in and don't feel like you're actually at a disadvantage. Westy is, all right, 2 strikes. He feels like until you put me down, I'm always going to be in an advantage. That's how he's hitting right now.
Yeah.
And so far, you're seeing it and you're seeing the Orioles produce. And right now, everything I showed, Westbrook deserves more attention. And who knows what will happen. But if he keeps playing like this, he's an all-star. He is no doubt an all-star for this Baltimore Orioles team. And quite frankly, he's indispensable to this roster right now. We're talking about guys that they go down, it would be so hard to overcome. Losing Westberg or a guy like Gunnar, I put Gunnar, Adley, and Westberg in that category right now. If one of those 3 guys goes down, you're going to feel that quite a bit. So really great to see overall. So yeah, team sports.
Yeah, every time I change the criteria on this, Jordan Westbrook still finds his way at the top. Scoring position, 2 outs. He's actually second, but that's because Adley's hitting 353 and Jordan's hitting 350. So I'll give him that. I'll give him that. But it is incredible. Every top situation you put your. Oh, did you,
Brad? Look at the last.
Getting fried all show, man.
Look at Joe's comment, his last comment, and but
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, Ryan O'Hearn, same thing, Tom. I mean, look, the combination of these guys is what makes a special team. And then when you're talking about players getting rid of them, and you brought up Santander and John right here. What's up, fellas? Do you think that the Mullins or Santander would be traded at the deadline? the Orioles are winning games, I don't think they get rid of any of those guys.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't see that. And I'm a firm believer in all the players there. You make a move that drastically changes your roster if you feel like you're okay with the variability that's going to happen. That's bold. That's very bold to do.
I want to prepare Orioles fans for this, and that a trade just could not actually happen this year.
Well,
and what exactly is the organization going to be trading for at this point in time? I mean, could you make the argument for a closer? Yeah, but who's willing to give up their closer right now, and without having to give up a shit ton in return?
It's going to have to be at the right time.
That's what. So something's going to have to happen. Either there's going to be a serious injury and there's going to be a void that the Orioles need to fill, or maybe they go after that closer type role. And for what? You're going to rent them for a half a season, in anticipation of
Batista
coming back. Thank you. And so I just don't see a lot that's not Elias's MO. And I just would not be surprised if there was no trades made before the deadline. So I just want to prepare people for that.
Yeah. I would be floored by that, honestly. I think because Hyder and them have already talked about there've been inklings that the Orioles are already looking at guys. I think it's not. I've prepared people. It's probably will not be this. We get Mason Miller, you get this top guy, but they're going to make a trade. I think they'll find a bullpen guy. It might not be here's our closer. Here's the guy that we want in the 8th, the 9th. But I just think the Orioles with Elias, even if it's nothing huge, I think they go out and try to find someone else for the bullpen, whether it's just be for insurance of injury, something like that. I just don't think they sit by and let the trade deadline go past without making some sort of move. And it could be like a Shintaro Fujinami where it happens weeks before the deadline.
Yeah, and it
doesn't necessarily have to be on July 31st or whatever the deadline is now. It doesn't have to be the 4:00 buzzer beater that everyone wants it to be. But I think they grab somebody just that has a potential like a Fuji.
Well, they need depth, but that's the thing is if they want it's either you look at it this way. Do they do a rental like you said, Brad? And then what do you give up for that rental with no guarantee you're going to sign him back?
Correct.
Do you get a guy that has team control? And if that's team control, like people keep saying, Mason Miller, who's also had his own arm issues going through. It's not like you don't know what can happen. And then you got to figure out that's a steep price. So, it makes sense if you want to control him.
Yeah.
And you have Mason Miller and Felix Batista hypothetically being healthy and Craig Kimbrell for an option for next year. But then what do you give up for that? Plus, are there some other things you have to worry about? There's a lot of intangibles that go into that whole situation. So for the Orioles, though, they're going to wait and see. If they can avoid waiting as long as they can, they will. Because we just talked about it. We've seen injuries that have happened so far. You don't want to make a move and then feel like you've depleted your depth. But then when you have to actually make a move, the Orioles don't have to make a move right now. Come 2 months, we might have a different discussion. But I think that's all we got. Kevin is gonna.
You have to sign up for Spot Track Premium now to look at contracts. What?
I didn't know that. But you know what I did know, by the way, and I saw Rolling with Rock. I know we can't control fees on this, but he used the SeatGeek code for the first voucher that you do for SeatGeek with our code Ripken. If you use that code on SeatGeek, $20 off that first purchase only. And that is, hey, we're trying to help people helping people here, right? A lot of people use SeatGeek. $20 off if you use the discount code Ripken. It's at the bottom here, as you can see of the screen. Go on to SeatGeek and enter the code Ripken to purchase your ticket for the game. Again, first purchase, $20 off. That's how the cookie crumbles, baby. Kevin, your hair is.
What was wrong with Rock saying?
He was just saying that the fees, like just ticket fees, not that's something we can't control.
Yeah.
That's everywhere too. That the ticket fees are out of control. That's why we hope to help. We hope that the $20 helps.
So it's still getting $20 off.
Yeah. And Victoria, thank you as always. And Rick, I'm glad you're still alive as well. I know you were having some fun. But Victoria, glad you enjoy the breakdowns, and I'm glad everyone's doing well. Does any of that sponsorship benefit Rocco?
Nope.
No comment.
Nope.
Yeah. I like how everyone's joined in on this. Everyone's all in on this. But hey, guys, we appreciate you. Do you guys think before we get out of here, and you can either bark in the comments if you want it, or just say yes, or spam Kevin emojis over there. Should I talk about Cedric Mullins' breakdown upcoming to talk about what's been going wrong? I know that's been a hot topic here. I think that people have asked about that, and I've pondered it, and maybe that will be another one we'll do in the future. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to do it Kevin Oki. I was just like, I don't know if I have the energy. I literally,
Kevin, you speak up.
After the game, I sat in a dark room, blasted Marvin's roommate a whole pack of Swiss cheese.
Wait, what?
What?
Wait, okay.
That's a true story.
You said
That's
okay.
Kevin's comfort
Why?
food is Swiss cheese. It's not ice cream.
I got 3 packs at the grocery store because he got 40 cents off of each one. So
Time
I
out.
got a good deal.
Time out. So you said you put on Marvin's Room,
Yeah,
By
makes
Drake.
sense.
By
That's
Drake.
That's the ultimate sad boy
Yeah,
hour song.
I agree.
and then so you put that on an 8-string cheese.
No, a full pack of Swiss cheese.
Yeah,
like
no,
Swiss
way
cheese
weirder.
Slices. Didn't really help, but
Can you sing Marvin's Room part of it?
I'm just saying you could do better.
You guys. So
He's so why you need to project more.
yeah.
Your set,
He's
your
just down
microphone.
bad.
setting-
Hello.
Yeah, see, there you go.
There
Oh
it is.
wow,
I
that's
was also trying to just sing it very softly. but
yeah.
in
So can you
general-
imagine? He's saying, "I'm just saying you can do better," and he's just eating pieces of Swiss cheese.
True.
That's. I mean, that's it. It does not surprise. It's typical Kevin comfort food. Is
You-
just a pack of Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
That's my controversial take. Is Swiss cheese is the best cheese. What
Well,
everybody
I
hates
love me
Swiss
some
cheese.
Swiss cheese, but
Okay,
I don't know
okay,
about the
good.
best cheese.
Yeah. But you know what though? I actually did hear and maybe this is after the Kendrick Drake diss off back and forth. Drake was commented saying, "You know what? I wrote Marvin's Room while eating cheese." So I thought, "Hey,
Is that true?
absolutely not, Kevin." Are you fucking- I mean,
He just lit up. You're just like you're about to make his day.
yeah, I'm sorry, Kevin.
Yeah.
I don't think
Plenty
you
of disappointment. I'm used to it at this point. Over the last 24 hours.
Oh,
You've had
God.
a rough go, Kevin.
God.
I'll tell you that.
What's how does it start off? Like cups of the rose.
Cups of the rose.
They. And then Kevin's just like, just eating.
do that again. Do that again.
Oh, yeah. How we doing? No, I'm not doing it again. I'm not falling for it. Kevin, grab your brother.
30 on.
Oh,
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 you dropped your brother. What? You guys are good kids. Someone asked you to rank cheeses, Kevin. Do we do that before we go? It's a long stream. We should get out
that's
of here.
coming
but-
up. That's coming up on a poll.
Oh, it has to.
Cheeses or favorite sandwiches.
If you don't have it right now, Kevin,
No,
we're just going to end it.
No, I do. Swiss cheese 1.
Okay. Top 5.
American cheese
Okay.
number 2. I'll go cheddar 3. So this is a classic. Does shredded count? Or are we doing flavors?
Oh, come on, Kevin.
this is now you're adding
No,
subsections.
just rank cheese.
Are you
Okay.
were you gonna give shredded? Like just
Well, I do on my sub.
Kevin, how about this? Rank fucking cheese.
he has
top
a
5.
list
Okay.
already.
Swiss, American, cheddar, Gouda, and pepper jack.
Oh, okay. Don't hate it.
Okay. Well, it's not bad. You're a good kid. You're a good kid.
Thank you.
All right. I think we're good now. I think we
Yeah.
can move on for the day.
I think we can do it.
Okay. Well, on that note, I can't find my glasses. We will have a future debate about cheeses because I can see a lot of people now are very, very interested in
Also,
what
we'll
this
do
is.
sandwich polls too, because I think the Reuben is the greatest sandwich of all time.
Okay. Well, no, I'm in disagreement. It's a good sandwich. All right. Here we go. Cue it. As always, here at the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate you tuning in. It always gets chaotic, it always gets unhinged, but we appreciate it. Hope you enjoy this Orioles Cardinals series and hope you enjoy James McCann. We will be back next time for a brand new edition of the Ryan Ripken Show. As always, have a day, have a night, and talk to you soon.